this right back time. Definitely. Against this right back time. Definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like there's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like
One more time, folks, man. It slaps.
there's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Sorry about being muted there. Am I live? Of course I'm live, people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, of course, good night, wherever it concerns people. Deluded, I'm back again. Please make sure you're smashing the like button. You're getting your talking points, predictions for the game later, and all things football. It doesn't even have to be Arsenal related. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. We're going to centre around Arsenal versus Zurich. I will be doing a watch along for that from 4:45 UK time and hour before kickoff. And we might as well look at what's going on with football. Obviously, right now it's probably Diego Costa winning his appeal for a work permit at Wolves. Graham Potter looks close to be confirmed as the Chelsea manager. I say that apparently there's still talks around Pochettino, the Sporting Lisbon gaffer, Ruben. I can't remember his last name, but him. Zidane's in the background. It looks like Potter is the front runner, and it looks like a case of when, not if, he'll take that job. So yeah, man, appreciative to you lot tuned in. Thank you for supporting the content. Make sure if you haven't, you're hitting the like button, boosting the algorithm, and you're subscribing. People, we're flirting with 50,000. I think we got 49.6. So slowly but steady wins the race, and appreciative to you lot, man. I hope you're doing well and safe. Morning, broski. Morning. Coldest intro, man. Never get bored of it. Appreciate that, man. Shout out M because he's one of the supporters. He's the one who made it. Chase Gold, shout out the YouTube members. Morning, Ben. I hope you're doing well and safe, man. You know, where you from, Ben? Because you're saying afternoon, man. You're ahead of man then. I'm emotionally invested in Mudruk. I need him at the carpet. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. My guy obviously looks like a tricky customer. Looks confident. You know, I think ball retention can improve, but looks like a good dribbler. Clearly got an eye for goal. Can play in a couple of roles. Resale value as well. Seems to be one of the Ukrainian youths that are seen as, I don't want to say golden generation or wonder kids, but one of them guys. And you know, the problem is every performance he puts in the Champions League, etc., his price goes up, and that's where Arsenal are at. Do we take a chance when we don't really know about these players and how good they are, and risk obviously when they become somewhat household names or move into that direction? The big boys want them. Like, I can't say his name, but who's that you at Napoli was twisting up Trent? Well, to be fair, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, everyone, you know, Liverpool is shambolic, but he was twisting him up. He was linked with Arsenal, and I think Napoli signed him for 10 million. If he continues doing what he's doing, you know how already the script goes. You know no one's getting him for 10 million. You know Napoli on the best of days are difficult negotiators. And obviously, big up you lot, as I said, people. I'm sure you lot can hear. So it's a rainy day in the United Kingdom. In fact, 1 second, I actually want to pre the rain. Blood. I'm so happy I'm inside. Brazy. Shameless plug o'clock, bright and early, people. One love to the Twitch gang as well. I see you lot again later today, people. It's Europa League business. Our Europa League campaign starts. You know, again, I don't think we can rotate, but I don't think Arsenal are in a position where they can rotate. I think you'll see slight rotation, and then, you know, the more regular starters that you'd probably love to rest their legs to go into Everton and Brentford the week after, they'll probably come off at certain intervals. I am hoping to see Fabio Vieira. I would like to see Marquinhos. I do want to obviously see Arsenal winning it. You know, obviously we're English clubs in Europe. It's been mixed success. If you're Spurs, turned it around courtesy of a Richarlison double against Marseille, 10 men Marseille. You know, Tavares, I won't blame him for the second goal, and I don't think he's directly at fault for the first, but he never stopped the cross. There's poor marking from Marseille. As you know, you can keep telling me about Tavares scoring goals and going forward. I need to know he's improved defensively. Liverpool shambolic, got sizzled, got put in a blender against Napoli, really and truly. Chelsea, obviously, in Tuchel's 100th and last game, obviously lost. If you're Spurs and City, you're laughing. So not that I ever want to be compared to Spurs, but I would like to follow in Spurs and City's footstep in starting our European campaign off to a great start. 4-1 prediction. I want a clean sheet, man. Liverpool hype. Pickford is injured for the Everton game. Yep. The hustle is sold separately and it's never on a discount. Amen. Would be happy to see Potter at Chelsea. At least we might actually beat Brighton. I'm in Wales, but nearly afternoon. I hear that. Big up the Welsh ones. Arteta and Edu are pulling the walls over fans' eyes. Bit harsh, but yeah, man, it just feels like they do 1-2 really good things and then they leave themselves just short. And there's no hiding place for Edu and Arteta where our playing squad. I hope it all works out, but right now bodies are dropping like flies. Smith Rowe and Cedric have picked up knocks and haven't travelled. Obviously, there's rumours of Partey coming back. I'm very pessimistic on Partey. You know, it doesn't even matter if he's fit. You know, it's a ticking time bomb, respectfully to the Ghanaian international, really. So, yeah, man, whether we've learned our lessons from last season, whether we're being naive, pardon me, I guess we'll have to see, man. Appreciative for you lot supporting the content. 28 likes off to a great start. You know, if you're looking for my last live stream yesterday, YouTube spliffed it. Obviously, we was watching Mudruk, and this is why you need to be on Twitch. It got hit with a copyright claim. It's been processing for the last 24 hours. I've actually, in the time before I've gone live, that's actually why I was a couple of moments late. I've re-uploaded it. So in terms of fans who missed it, again, I've cut out the part that YouTube said, but it's been processing for time and I don't know what's going on. I think that live stream's just going to get put in a blender still, people. So it is what it is. We had a 4-1 prediction. We've got 5-1, I assume, to Arsenal. My neighbours have put out a whole line of washing out to dry and it's raining. Else, you know, charge it to the game, man. Charge it to the game. Charge it to the game. It's sounding peak, but happy I'm not them, really. You know, a lot of people probably played themselves. So yeah, man. Any talking points, etc., get them in. Let's kick off immediately, man. Let's look at what's going on where Chelsea are concerned. Really, let's switch over to the Athletic. I just thought this has not, well, it has something to do with it, but nothing to do in the sense of. Andy Naylor said it's worth noting that Chelsea will be hiring their fourth manager since Potter joined Brighton in May 2019. Now, Potter's under no illusion. He should get time to build the squad. You know, I think Potter deserves a big break. You know, he's been at Ostersunds. I think he held a position within the Ghanaian women's team as well. Could be wrong, but he did something with Ghana. Went Swansea since 2019, been doing great things. You know, when you step into Chelsea, again, you're on a tight rope. I do think you will get time. And I think this season will somewhat be a free hit beyond the obvious. But, you know, you're walking a tight rope. A certain man won the Champions League and they were gone in what was technically their 100th game. None of Chelsea's last 13 managers has lasted as long as Potter has at Brighton since Jose Mourinho's first spell. So we'll have to see how that one develops. Allegedly, Brighton are hopeful of postponing the Premier League clash with Crystal Palace. Is that apparently safety grounds because of national rail strike? I thought that would be down to not having a manager, but I hear that once again, you know, Chelsea is far until they announce their new manager. Again, this Graham Potter thing is accelerating, but Chelsea are planning to hold talks with both Potter and Pochettino over replacing, you know, outgoing boss Thomas Tuchel. People, again, Brighton have granted Chelsea permission to speak to Graham Potter, and there'll be due a compensation package. And yeah, and as you can see here, Chelsea meeting Graham Potter over head coach role. He looks like he's going to be the guy, really. Again, there's been a media blackout. Potter isn't speaking to the press in relation to Brighton's game at the weekend if it goes ahead for obvious reasons. So we're going to have to see how that one develops, people. And I believe Fabrizio Romano has added his own 2 pence into it as well. Potter will be appointed as new Chelsea manager as expected. Agreement in place. Contracts now being prepared as proposal has been accepted. Make sure you get a decent compensation package if you are going to get the sack, people. Chelsea will complete the agreement with Brighton in the next few hours. So it is moving quite quickly. Where Zidane, where the Sporting Lisbon gaffer, where Pochettino, it seems like these are not the guys that Chelsea are betting on. They're going British with Graham Potter. And he deserves his big break, man. He's done it the hard way. Chelsea have had their contract proposal ready to complete the appointment of Graham Graham Potter. Today is the final day for final decisions. It's up to Potter now, and it's not over. Apparently, Todd Burley also wants a new sporting director to be appointed, and he's working on it. And as much as Chelsea have issues on the field, off the field, they need to employ the right people. Again, at the end of the day, Chelsea spent bare peas in the summer, but they didn't. They were unsuccessful in Conde, in Rafinha, in De Jong, in Ronaldo. These are all things in the paper. So I'm sure they want a sporting director in place so that Graham Potter can just focus on the management and they can do their thing, people. Once again, there is no press conference today for Potter as talks are entering the final stages with Chelsea. All parties expect the agreement to be completed in the next few hours. Once again, Graham Potter will not speak to the media ahead of the game against Bournemouth, people. So yeah, make of that what you will. And you know, again, forgive me, there's no way I can say that name, but the youth who was ripping Trent Alexander-Arnold, the new one. I love Trent Alexander-Arnold as a footballer, but he's not got a defensive bone in his body. It is a very much a culture shock, and I've been saying this for years. As much as it's about, you know, the creativity historically at Liverpool has come from their fullbacks, when you need to do that and more, you're going to be an issue. And Trent doesn't seem to. He seems to be very reactive. He's caught flat-footed too much. He's strolling. You know, other people at other clubs could really get dropped for that. Trent's a great player, but you know, no matter how much the modern day demands it, you need to defend. Van Dijk was all over the place. Joe Gomez all over the place. You know, it was very meaty from Liverpool, and it's just going from bad to worse. And maybe the project is over. I feel sorry for Klopp because I don't like the word overperforming. You know, I do think Liverpool act like they haven't spent money, but FSG hasn't, in my opinion, invested suitably, and they haven't renewed the squad, and they haven't provided depth, and they betted on a lot. The core bunch of Liverpool has stayed fit and done things for years. But you know, Salah's not in form. Mane's not doing his thing. Indifferent from Darwin Núñez, Central C. It's brazen. And even that, how can I really say you're not investing when you spent 60-odd million on KR, 100-odd million on Darwin Núñez? You know, again, it is what it is, and I think they've bet on too much. Really, the squad is not able to cope, and it's probably been how Liverpool have been able. You know, last season there was quadruple shouts. How they've been able to challenge for every trophy with that squad depth has been, you know, I don't like the word miracle, but nothing short of a miracle. But as you know, things come crashing down. So yeah, man, it's disappointing from Liverpool. Again, Trent just getting cooked. Again, fullback union, and I felt sorry for Trent. He's just getting cooked to left, right, and centre. The whole team got cooked. You know, Van Dijk. You know, as much as Van Dijk's a good defender, there's more to defending than just being light skinned and doing up the Love Island and going, "Oh, look at me, don't run past me, I'm light skinned." You know, again, Van Dijk's a quality centre-back, but all that best ever centre-back shouts was some absolute fart. I'm sorry, people. So, yeah, it was bad to worse from Liverpool. Even the second and third goals, ridiculous, really and truly. Big up Napoli as well, but that's all I've got to say on that. Let's make a timestamp. Napoli, Potter to Chelsea. Perfect. Right on time, and I hope you're doing well and safe, folks. Big acquisition by Chelsea. Happy with this appointment. Mudruk is the next Son Heung-min. I don't know about any of that. Well, go on for Smith Rowe. Always injured, moving like Wilshere. Hey, you'll get it right, man. Less of that, man. Where did it all go wrong for Liverpool, in your opinion? They haven't looked the same in ages. Probably, you know, they've got too many. There's an imbalance. I think they've just bet on the present too much. You know, the Salahs, the Manes, and them guys there historically. I don't think they've really added enough depth, and I don't think they've added quality to the standard they need to really push them on, really and truly, specifically in the middle of the park. Now, the only benefit from that is young Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho, who, to be fair, this season, when they get their opportunities, have taken them. You know, Liverpool in total are shambles right now, so everyone's going to look dead, but things catch up, really and truly. That squad's been together for a while. There's not really been a major shake-up. I know Mane has left. Darwin Núñez has come in. You know, apparently they want Bellingham. Apparently they were trying to go for Tuchemani. These things may have made a difference in their early season campaign. Again, as poor as it's been for Liverpool, the season has just started. But yeah, I don't think in comparison to Liverpool's competitors, which is City, look at the depth. You're betting on a lot. Suddenly, Salah goes missing. Trent goes missing. Couple of other guys go missing, and you're in trouble, really. And you know, when things can go bad, it can go really bad, really, as you see for all clubs, really. If Chelsea were already unsure on Tuchel, why not sack him in the summer and let the new manager spend that 300 million on players he actually wants backwards clubs? I don't know, man. Maybe it weren't the right time. You know, there was a new owner. There was a lot of backroom changes. Couple of players left. Couple of players came in. You know, they didn't necessarily get their first choice targets. Maybe these were the sort of things, the luxury they would have given Tuchel. Maybe if the season started a bit better, I think they would have kept him. But I do think Tuchel was walking a tightrope, and you know, I do think off the back of last season, because I do think I won't say Chelsea are lucky to finish third, but you know, Chelsea are in, as I said last year, they're in that scenario where you either drop down to what Spurs, Arsenal, and United are doing, or historically Liverpool and City, you go and fight them. And last season they didn't do that. And I think one luxury for all of Chelsea's faults, you know, is that Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United managed to be worse. Same way Spurs got top four, because we managed to be, us and United managed to be even worse than them. So I do think based off of that, I don't think, you know, I won't say he won the Champions League on a fluky thing, but it was Bandulu. I don't know what Thomas Tuchel's brand of football at Chelsea is. I know every club at all levels of this game, when managers get sacked or there's question marks, it's all about the style of play and all them things there. I couldn't tell you what Thomas Tuchel's style of play is really and truly. I don't think a single attacking player thrived. I think they held on to possession a lot, didn't do much of it. You know, I don't think there's been an evolution, and money's been spent. You know, obviously Havertz scored the Champions League winning goal, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I wouldn't say Tuchel's made him a better player for the lazy football fan to look. 100 million was spent on Lukaku, whether Lukaku's good or not, that was dead. Bare money's been spent this window and it's not happened really and truly. So maybe these are things that have played a part in Tommy Tuchel getting the clip, and he can leave with his head held high. He won what? The World Club Championship. They might have even won the Super Cup. They definitely won the Champions League. They obviously got to the Carling Cup and FA Cup finals, and they were unsuccessful. You know, he can look back at his time, in my opinion, at Chelsea with what could have done better, and could there have been more. Probably disappointed he didn't get to really fight for the league title, but at the end of the day, he won Champions League. And when it's all said and done, you know, all that matters is the history, really. And he's etched his name in there with Di Matteo. And I know Jose did it, Mourinho didn't win Champions League, but you think of Jose, you think of Chelsea, among other clubs. So yeah, he can look back with success, and it's not all doom and gloom. You know, other jobs where you get sacked, you might be entitled to compensation. He probably, you know, did he not sign a new deal not too long ago? So he probably just got the bag as well. So it could be worse, isn't it? You might have a free Christmas, but you've already heard that Barcelona, depending on what happens with Xavi, they're looking at what Tuchel could do. Juventus seem to be hot on the heels, and any other top European club that becomes available in terms of the managerial position, you know, Tuchel's name will be there really. So being a manager is stressful. You know, it's the only profession where, obviously, like Chelsea won the Champions League, Tommy Tuchel got his praise, but it's all for the players. When you lose now, it's all on the gaffer. And being a manager is stressful anyway. So I'm sure, you know, his wife, if his kids, if he's got them, they'll get a couple, you know, he'll get a period to just chill out and be with them and things like that. So yeah, great thing, man. Great talking points. Big up the Twitch ones. Morning all. Potter will be a big miss for Brighton. I'm from Brighton, and when I was a kid, they were battling to stay in the Football League. It's amazing how far they've come. Brighton's technical director went to Newcastle in May, so I'm feeling it's a good time for Potter too. Overall, it's positive for English football. For Potter, obviously, you know what you're stepping into. Right now, you're the golden boy. You can do nothing wrong. Bit like Brendan Rodgers at a time. You know, I'm a big fan of Potter. Obviously, once you're officially announced at Chelsea, I wish you nothing but the worst. The game's the game. But for me, he's done it the right way. You know, he's had a former career as a player, I believe, but you know, he hasn't really got a buzz on his name. He had to leave this country to come back. Obviously, he technically went Wales with Swansea before that, Ostersund. I'm so sure they beat us at the Emirates, or they bopped us. He's done it the right way. Now, if I look at it harshly, you're a good manager, so I can't really rate you for being a good manager. That's why Chelsea, third place side, won the Champions League and Premier League in the last 10 years or so. That's why they're getting them. You know, obviously, when you think of Potter, he can develop talents as you've seen him do. Cucurella, Basuma, you know, maybe Lamptey and all these others, you know, Calcedo and all of that. Chelsea got a bag of Cobham boys. Obviously, he plays attacking football. He can play a back three, play a back four. They're quite spot on defensively. These are the things that Chelsea can't keep a clean sheet despite spending bare money on defenders. Koulibaly's looking like a barber right now. He's getting savage. So there's a lot. Obviously, he's English, and you know, the Stamford Bridge pitch owners will love that one. There's a lot of good things, but you know, at Chelsea, you're walking a tightrope. You know, you could win trophies if you're not doing certain things. It is what it is. You know, and it's an exciting time because you're joining a new regime. You know, obviously, Roman's gone, technical directors, all of that jazz is gone. Tuchel's gone. The only sort of imprint beyond the obvious at Chelsea at the moment is the players that were obviously there before him. So it's a good opportunity. I think he deserves it. You know, realistically, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out at Chelsea, which I hope is the case. But if it don't work out, you'll get another job. You know, I think the time's coming, really. He was linked with Spurs, linked with Arsenal, linked with United. If Klopp sacking rumours, which I don't think will happen, he'd probably be linked with them until he signs for them. Anytime there's question marks around England, he's the man. So we're going to have to see, really and truly, man. And Todd Burr, he probably give him a lot more time because this is his first manager, and it's a bit of first manager that he's appointed, and it's a bit of history in that regard. So I think it's a good signing. I hope it don't work out, but there's a degree of expectation, you know, a bit like young players. They start off, they can do no wrong, everyone's amazed. But for me now, I'm looking at Potter. Okay, you're a good manager, go and show it, because you don't necessarily praise Jose Mourinho, Arsene Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson, Klopp historically, Pep. You don't necessarily praise them for being good managers. They're elite managers. You know, I don't think Potter's in that realm, but he's a good manager. Go out and show it now, really. He needs time. He needs to have his squad and all of that jazz. I don't know if Chelsea will write off the season, which I think they kind of have to with getting a new manager, but at the same time, you don't, because you've pulled the plug early, you know, rather than let it persist. Only time will tell if that's a benefit or a curse. So we're going to have to see how it develops, man, in relation to Potter, really. So-called bigger clubs are going to come in for Arteta if this project works. I mean, obviously. Yo, DG, off topic, but what do you think of the Chris KABA incident? I was going to do a video on that, and let's actually timestamp. I mean, Football Mirrors Society, really. Ironically, he was a Chelsea fan. Again, you know, you've seen where that unfortunate that black male was tasered to death. There's been incidences around the Thames. You know, Mark Duggan. I mean, it just tells you the police in this country are inherently racist. How you can shoot a young father to being a young man to death without confirming that the man's got a gun is ridiculous. And, you know, it's the stories you don't hear. You know, you look at, is it Rash from Hackney that happened? It keeps happening. It's been happening, people, and it'll continue to happen. It doesn't matter if it's young black boys being killed and slaughtered like dogs. It doesn't matter whenever a young black lady goes missing, you know, to the point where they're putting up the wrong pictures of people and things like that. They don't care. They're inherently racist. They'll always be racist. You know, again, fuck the police system with all my heart, really. And, you know, they're going to cover it up. They're going to somewhat taint the guy's character, regardless of if he, let's just say I don't know if he was a criminal, whatever, doesn't mean he deserves to die, really. Especially, why is he being shot if he hasn't, you know, if they cannot confirm he's got that, you know, with him. It's disgusting. Thought so with his family. It's absolutely heartbreaking, you know, and that, you know, it brought me almost close to tears, really, because that could be me, that could be some of you, that could be your friend, that could be your brethren, and it's crazy. Nothing's going to happen to these police officers. At best, they'll make an example, they'll make them the fool guys, and then we'll be here again, really and truly. The police force in this country is inherently racist, not just with the way they police certain individuals, with their shithousery tactics. Absolute scumbags, man. And I wish, I'm not a bad mind person, but any person connected to the police force, I wish them nothing but the worst luck in life. I can't lie to you. Obviously, you need law of the land. You know, it would be complete anarchy, but it's disgusting. And can you imagine? You know, no parent on the best of days deserves to bury their son, much less have no answers. And, you know, again, it's not over. They're going to keep reliving this. You know, the mom and dad, and family, their minds are not going to be at peace, really and truly. They're going to see, you know, them try and damage this guy's character to try and make out that was a valid reason to shoot someone, really and truly. It's crazy. And we live in a day and age where, you know, certain other shaded folk that go to Oxford are stabbing their boyfriends and in court letting go because they're going to be doctors. You know, this country is founded on racism. I know they don't want to hear it, but it is, you know, and the way they cover up things is ridiculous. You'd think slavery was just going on in America, where you look at half of the richest families in this country, you know, what did they profit off? It's sad. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. We'll be here again, man. It's unfortunate. Like I said, thoughts with his family. R.I.P. Chris, man. It's ridiculous, really and truly. Serious number of tabs. Serious. Tab police, leave me alone, man. Gomez was getting cooked. I can't blame the man for a big move, but Brighton started so good, man. I thought he was finally doing something with that team. I predicted them to be playing in the Conference League next season. And you can't negate, in Potter's case, stability at Brighton and things, but Conference League, Champions League, there's no difference. And you're working with higher quality players, man. Apparently, Guendouzi was balling yesterday. Tavares was trash. I mean, until someone rocks up on my channel and tells me Tavares has been good defensively, he's pocketed a winger or a top winger in France, he's stopping crosses, it's all irrelevant. You know, I don't know about it. I'm not trying to criticize Tavares. He's found a good home a good temporary home for himself at Marseille. But, you know, it just goes to show when you're playing decent teams and you actually have to defend Tavares, and it's still early in his campaign, it's not improvement. You expect me to be impressed by someone whose strengths are going forward. He's playing in a back three, or if he's not in a back three, he gets to go forward. That's his strengths. He's talked about shooting with his right foot. Not stopping crosses has been a problem of his, not smelling danger, really and truly. For Tavares, calm it down a bit, you know, with all this, I wanted a permanent move and that. Crazy. So, yeah, man. From Thiago got injured, it all went downhill. Klopp doesn't help either. The false nine played out. He doesn't even have players for it anymore. Of course, we tried hype. Unwilling to buy for some extra cash for Hazard when he was playing in France. We missed to sign him. Don't want to make the mistake again. Just give everything for Mudruk. This guy is a very good player. Get him before other teams steal him. I don't know about giving him everything, but yeah. Salah is playing like Aubameyang post signing the thing. That's the risk you take when you sign a new deal. Smash the like button, people. Appreciative to have you lot in here. We're at 64 likes. Let's keep running that up, Twitch gang. Don't think you're underappreciated. They sold Mane, and that's where it all went wrong. Liverpool's play was embodied by Mane with work ethic. All of a sudden, the pressing isn't the same. We got Mane because his team won yesterday. 4-2-3-1, best to do right now, and their ownership got lucky with Klopp. They only invest for top 4. Yeah, I think FFG probably reckon they're overperforming. I think Tuchel just wasn't it to propel us above third. Chelsea will definitely play better under Potter, sadly. Koulibaly and Fofana look suspect. Everyone's going to look suspect when your team's playing dead, man. Man called him Brexit, sorry. Apparently, Berhe wanted Ronaldo at Chelsea, not Aubameyang, which might have affected things in a way, but Tuchel just doesn't know how to create. And you know what? That could be a fact. Maybe Potter's happy to... You know, the owners playing FIFA, bring in players by all means. You know, if I'm Potter, I'd want to work with Ronaldo, to be fair. And to be fair, in Thomas Tuchel's case, he's within his rights to say, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want the other. But that was probably just the latest in line in what ultimately led to Thomas Tuchel's demise. I think Potter will be the same. He should be allowed the right to say, no, I want this player or not, and veto what he likes and doesn't. But I get the vibe. He's more than happy if the owner says, let's just say Ronaldo's available tomorrow. Bring in Ronaldo. I think he'll deal with it, really. Sort of thing. It'd be interesting to see how Potter, how the ownership, and when the technical director of Chelsea, when they're all obviously in place, how it works. Because sometimes it can go very well, sometimes it can go very bad at all clubs. Tuchel is more of a cup manager, in my opinion. The personal issues coupled with the stress of being a director of football in the summer was too much, and Tuchel doesn't know ball. Like, that's a bit harsh to say, Tommy. Tuchel don't know football, but I hear you, man. 60 out of 100 games won for Tuchel. Who has a better legacy between him and Conte at Chelsea? I don't know, man. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd probably say Tuchel because he's won the Champions League, just lazily, just because of that. But Conte kind of stormed the Premier League, so it all depends, really. I don't know. Maybe Conte's held in higher regards with Chelsea fans. If I was a Chelsea fan, which I'm not, I would say Thomas Tuchel because he won the champs, man. Very good hire by Chelsea getting Graham from Brighton. He plays progressive football with Chelsea. Needs as they were a counter-attacking team under Tuchel who used a back three in defence. And well, Koulibaly looking like a barber, bro. Them shit barbers, you don't even, you know, there'll be like five barber chairs. Everyone else is cutting, bussing, joke, doing the yard man thing, and my man's just outside wearing sandals, trying to catcall gal on the sidewalks, man. He's them shit barbers, but that's what Koulibaly's looking like. Getting savaged by Leeds Regen, Southampton ripping these man are cheating against West Ham. How dare Matisse ever talk on my centre back still when they're moving like that? Big up DG. All these people who are saying we are struggling because Mane left, absolutely clueless. The shambles at the back has nothing to do with Mane missing. One player can't solve all our problems. Potter won't be able to play his football with Mendy and Oba. Boy, I don't know. I wonder how many Brighton dons he takes with them. I wonder if I'm Lamptey, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? You going to take man back to Chelsea? Vio, Gabriel looks 60, mate. At least Koulibaly has hair. Oh, we're judging up the personal appearances. That's what we're doing. Leave that to the galley. But again, we're all inclusive on this channel. You know, you're allowed to like what you like. Big up Top Blue, man. Potter got Welbeck playing like a true baller. Imagine what he's going to do with Aubameyang. It's too early to pull the plug for Chelsea. I mean, time will tell. I don't think they just did it overnight, but yeah, man. Another thing is, will the Chelsea players be receptive to Potter, who has little pedigree at a top level? And that's the thing, you know, player power has never been more important, really. But, you know, what I would say is they're going to have to flip and get with it, because at the end of the day, you know, you're professional footballers, you know, in any walk of life. If you have a manager you don't like, of course you can be at loggerheads, but you got to get on with it, really. And you know, do you really want to veto your season already? You know, do you really want to give up your season already? Because at the end of the day, it's terrible start from Chelsea. There's still 5 other group stage games. They're still in all the other cups. I don't think they're going to win the Prem. Everybody looks a shambles at this moment, even City by their own standards. For me, City look like the only team you can convincingly say in these 6 games that we've played are going to be in the top 4. Arsenal have been good in many aspects, but the same issues remain. Spurs, much like in the Champions League, you know, they're making games harder than it needs to be. But when you win, it is what it is. I don't think that way of playing is sustainable. And when I speak to my Spurs supporting brethren, the only answer towards that is, you know, I might sound like areas we've got Conte. It's a very silly way of looking at things. Man United, again, it was all doom and gloom. It's all great now under Ten Hag. You know, again, it's all these teams look inconsistent. Much like last year, if teams were as good as Chelsea or better, third might have been debatable. You know, every so often last season, and it was almost bad luck, Arsenal were fourth, but man, look, Xhaka even said it, man, are looking at third. So it is what it is, really and truly. We'll have to see how it develops, but it's an interesting one. This is why I said we have to, as football fans, be very wary of drawing conclusions already in this season. And I know it's a difficult one. A week is a long time in football, let alone thingy, you know, let alone 6 weeks, let alone 30-odd Premier League weeks. So it's a lot of football to be played, man. DG, you're my guy, but I don't think you can say that most police are racist. That's not fair, my bro. Life's not fair. That innocent man didn't need to. You can look at the statistics, the way they, you know, look at the stopping rates. It's not just them. The way, you know, the way even the NHS, despite the fact the NHS was basically, you know, built on, you know, Black Caribbean folk and whatnot, the way treatment in comparison to minorities and nationals in this country, you look at the police system, the stopping rates, the conviction rates, the people who for the same crime walk certain rates, the way the juries are, life isn't fair. You know, don't argue with me. I'm not here to argue. You can think what you think. You can think what you think. I can think what I think. You can look at statistics. Inherently, the police force is racist. The vast majority of the police force is racist. You know, I'm so very sorry, but last time I checked, Football Mirrors Society, you know, I'll actually give you a thingy. I remember when I did the Charlie Gilmore video for you, interview, better yet, you know, I was stopped in a suit. You know, I was wearing a suit. I was working detail. I was stopped in a suit. Man just come up to me, roughhouse me, speaking about, you're wanted for attempted murder. Like, you don't even know my name. I've never been arrested. What are you talking about? You know, and I'm pretty sure I still got the scars on my handcuffs from another incident. These lot of, when it comes to certain folk, they're taught to roughhouse first, ask questions later. In the case of that Chris KABA guy, shoot first, ask questions later. Respectfully, Amani, whether I'm your guy or not, I don't really care. That's my opinion. I'll stick to it. Of course, there's probably some good eggs within the police force, but the vast majority of you are racist, you know, and you carry biases. You see it in the strong harm tactics. Last time I checked, I'm on the flipping ground. I live near 4th Street. If I walk outside now, do you know the BS that happens? You know, I have been stopped in a suit, in a football shirt, on my road. One of the most embarrassing times, I was stopped outside. You can go out to my own mother. I was stopped outside my own house a few years ago. You know, people are asking me and they ask stupid questions. Why have you got cash and a card on you? Because I said I'm going to the shop, which actually was. Allow it, man. RIP my man and everyone else, man. For real, I sat down at a park for my lunch break and a middle-aged police officer spotted me. Bro, it is crazy, man. They're not there to police us, bro. They're there to roughhouse us. They're there to it's a matter. But less of that, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Like, I'm not here to debate that. What is the potential lineup for today's game? I have to assume, I can't lie. I hope the only one I really want to see rested beyond the obvious is Bukayo Saka, if I'm honest with you. I mean, one of Gabriel Saliba probably starts. You'd like to see Tomiyasu get minutes. There's no Cedric. There's no Smith Rowe. Hopefully Fabio Vieira gets minutes. I don't know if Marquinhos will start. Maybe him. You know, Martinelli's probably good to go, but I would like him to get rested. There's no Reece Nelson to my knowledge either. So God knows, man. You know, you'd imagine Tomiyasu, Matt Ryan, Xhaka would all start, in my opinion. Tini might get some minutes in the legs as well. Fabio Vieira, if I haven't made that clear. Beyond that, I don't know, really. Eddie Nketiah as well, through the middle. Give Jesus the day off, really, which Arteta hasn't shied away from. Appreciate that, Diogo. Streets are saying Klopp out, Brazy. Who's having the worst season so far? Liverpool, Chelsea. Equally both as poor, really. You know, equally both as poor, if I'm completely honest with you. For Chelsea, at least they've brought certain players in. If Potter can get a tune out of them, then they're kind of laughing. For Liverpool, there's no way out. You got, you know, Henderson's injured. They kind of got to fix it with what they've got in house. Same logic applies to Chelsea. Tavares still plays the same way. I hope he has a good campaign and we sell him to Atalanta. Crazy. It all started when they sold Ronaldo and never replaced him. When Mo and Mane used to get man marked, Vinny used to destroy the box-to-box thing. I hope Vieira eventually gets into the starting 11. Appreciate you, Graham, in the cup. The least of our problems is the attack. I think it's midfield. Defense is sleeping, and honestly, I don't know what your defenders are doing. Gomez and Trent and Van Dijk, you know, very reactive defending, shambolic. I think the bulk of the problems are in midfield, really. I do think the attackers are not excelling, but it's the midfield battle in the Premier League week in, week out. And at this moment in time, Liverpool don't seem to accept that, really and truly. To the point where even though Liverpool probably morph into what they were, I wish we could play Liverpool tomorrow. There's probably never been a better time. They'll be patterned by the time we play them. Big up, DJ. I hope you're blessed. What's your lineup prediction for Arsenal tonight? As I said, I don't know, man. If I had Matt Turner, Tierney, Tomiyasu, right and left back respectively, Holding. To be fair, Ben White could go right back, and Tomiyasu centre back, or you could just keep it how they've historically played. Ben White might get a look in. Matt Turner, Holding. Maybe Ben White at centre back. Tomiyasu. I think Xhaka starts. Fucking hell. Xhaka, Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, Eddie Nketiah. You'd probably expect to see Jesus, Martinelli, Saka at some point. I don't want to see some of these guys, but we ain't got no bodies, really. I don't think Marquinhos is going to get a start. I think Arteta is going to go as strong as he potentially can, try and win the first game. And then, if anything, you might see, for example, Xhaka hold off at the 60th minute. If the game's won, maybe, let's just say for argument's sake, Saka started the game, come off after 45 minutes. The best scenario is we need to go out there and do it. And to be fair, while I want players to be rested, if this is the knockout stages where you're playing Thursday/Saturday, Sunday, players have to get on with 2 games a week, really. But I would say there's not really much time to recover. We can't afford any other injuries. Obviously, we're playing tonight. I don't know if Arsenal are going to travel back to London the same night or we're going tomorrow, but you'd imagine they'll be in at London Coley at some point on Friday, having a recovery session and things like that. And then Saturday, it's a training session, and then we go again against Everton. So honestly, I really don't know. I really don't know. Watching live from work, me and free staff not working, just watching DJ and drinking tea. Big up, shout out to you. Make sure you shout the 9-to-5ers. Don't get sacked, my guy. Shout out the work colleagues as well, man. Need Luis, Danilo, Mudruk, and Jan Martinelli needs a rest. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with players needing a rest, but what evidence have we seen apart from the threat of injuries? You know, we're not in the coaching stuff. We don't know these players' fitness levels and the red zone and things like that. These players have to be able to play 2 games a week. As much as I agree with you, when it's past January and we're in the knockout stages, man, we have to be able to be in a position where the strongest team's going out there on Thursday and potentially Sunday. Obviously, there might be some chopping and changing of that, but you get the point. Billy Gilmore will be left feeling like Oba when Tuchel left. And I wonder who Brighton take next. For the people that, oh, man, another day, another fly, bro. Fuck off. Oh, my God. That was so stupid. That is gone on my screen. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. Moving like Arsenal at Old Trafford with the decision making. That was stupid. Raid all over the screen. 1 second, people. I need to pattern that. Sorry. That was so stupid. That was decision making appalling. Appalling decision making there. Absolutely poor decision making there. And it's not even done yet. That was terrible. That was flipping terrible, man. That was very terrible. 1 second, folks, man. This needs patterning still. Can't have money for the next one of these Max still. So you better be working, you know. All right, cool. We're back. That was silly. By the way, how much do you pay to do a podcast inside Arsenal's dressing room? Eddie's my guy, still free of charge, man. Police covered up Jimmy Savile just says enough exactly, man. Well, man, ain't backing down. No racism, bro. I'm sorry, but I live this, like, football mirror society, bro. Like, do you know how degrading it is? Obviously, if you're doing your job, you're doing your job. But do you know how degrading it is? Do you know how degrading it is to be on a high road? There's 2 of you, me and a friend, and there's like 10 police officers, you know, and you're getting roughhoused. You're looking like they're doing some drug bust. And it's okay, bye. Fuck out of here, man. DG, maybe it's individual experience because I'm a 22-year-old black 22-year-old from Lewisham, and I've never been stopped and searched or experienced racism. Maybe it's because I kept myself quiet. I don't know about that, but you know, me and many other people, you know, if there's 20 black people in a room and one person hasn't, boy, you're sounding like a Tory. That, respectfully, Amani, that means me and you are in two different realities. Then you said you've never been stopped to search. I don't know what you're doing. That sounds like them guys that say all of that. Well, don't wear a hoodie then and all of that. I don't know about that. And if you said you've never experienced racism, either to do with the police, in the educational system and whatnot, then at 22 years of age, I think you've been in a box, but I can't speak on your reality, man. Appreciate you, South London's finest. What do you think it would take for Klopp to get binned? I think Klopp would. I think he'll walk before he gets clipped. Because FFG, I don't like the word overperformance. There's all this. The Liverpool make out they haven't spent cash and it's all of this, but for want of better phrases, somewhat Klopp has overperformed, and I think FFG has struck gold, because even when things were wavy and things were going amazing for Liverpool, there was a need to invest. I remember telling Liverpool fans, you need centre mids, you need more depth, you need a striker. You can go back in my YouTube videos, and they told me you didn't. And I think FFG just relying on Klopp really and truly. So I think he'll walk before that. I don't know. I mean, he's starting to get a bit vexed if you read between the lines. Sorry for hitting the mic, in the press conferences about I'm not the one who controls the P's and things like that. But yeah, God only knows how much of a miracle Michael Edwards and Klopp have been working to somewhat a degree. So yeah, man. I mean, anyone can get sacked. Obviously, I don't know if there's a succession plan for Klopp. He just signed a new deal. Anyone can get sacked, but I think Klopp will. I don't think he's going to walk. I don't think he'd want to go out like that. You know, but I think he's more likely to walk than getting sacked. Personally. Shout out to you lot, man. Appreciative to all the support. We are coming for you, Deluded, and we're coming for you hard. Pause. See you at the Emirates. Tini and Tommy are 30 starts as they should. Apparently, Partey is fit. Would you give now? The Partey thing. But if you're fit, Everton, man, Everton. And even that, could it be worth just leaving him out of Everton, losing the battle, and then you have a week's training under your belt and you play against Brentford? Obviously, I'm no fitness man. I'm not a physio. I'm not a doctor. I'm not working for Arsenal. But it always seems like guys are out for a long time. They're ahead of schedule. They come back and then it happens again. And we keep hearing with Partey, it's the same recurring injury, and at 29 years of age, we need to find a resolution. As I said in the last live stream, I don't know if that means surgery. Again, I'm no physio, because by my logic, you know, if I keep getting the same injury, is there a way at corrective surgery to mitigate against that? I don't know. That was very meaty from me, bro. Enough police talk. This is a football stream. Adam, I hear that, but Football Mirror Society, we can talk about, or speaking for myself, pardon my language, I'll talk about any fucking thing I want, you know, because way before you hear me open my mouth or you see me put on a football shirt, I'm a young black lad, really and truly, you know. Brazilian, yeah. Born in Brazil and at Sao Paulo. I used to play football with Gabriel Jesus. I told him I want to go to school. I don't even want to play football. I taught him everything he knows. See that flip-flap at Old Trafford? He learned that from man still. Get an electric tennis racket. Wait. Just tell me something, DG. What direction? This is a deep question, isn't it? Tell me something, DG. What direction do you think the world is headed in? Recession? Brazy stuff. It's not nice, man. Klopp is too much of a nice guy. He should go to FFG and bad them up. He bads them up. He's losing his thing. He's losing his job. For me, Europa can be used to get our players' confidence back. Big game tonight. Unpopular opinion. I agree with you, L Sparks. But any Arsenal player that has lost their confidence because you lost against United, you need to leave the club. You need to leave the club. Don't get too excited when you win. Don't get too down. As much as I feel, you know, we've got more tests to come and we're not going to win every game. You've won 5 out of the 6 games available. You know, keep your head. Forgive yourselves for the mistakes you obviously made against United. Hold yourself accountable. Go again. 106 likes. Can we keep popping that up, people? Appreciative to you lot. You just have to go again. But I do hear you. It would be nice to get more minutes in the belt, under the belt for a couple of players, get some confidence by scoring goals with our strikers. Just let the, you know, obviously it's always nice to win, momentum and that going into Everton game. We are not going to have Pickford allegedly. You know, man are saying wait on Thomas Partey. We need him 100% for the North London derby. I hear that, man. Midfielders needed investment for the longest time. It's true, man. It's absolutely mad. What other things have we got? Yeah. And once again, Tierney and Tomiyasu are certs to start, as they should be, man. Minutes in the legs. I don't know where they're at. I mean, in theory, they can both complete 90 minutes. I don't know where. I personally would like both of them to play against Everton. I mean, saying that, I want Zinchenko to play as well, probably in midfield. But I want to get the trench babies back at fullback, if I'm honest with you. Not that Ben White or Zinchenko deserve to be removed. I just feel, especially when we're in form, we find our little system and we don't change it. And we went to Old Trafford rather naively with Zinchenko, with Ben White, not just them, the whole team, with Xhaka playing slightly further forward. That is the same sort of problems that saw us, you know, get loose to Crystal Palace. You know, Xhaka's playing further forward. Tavares was playing poor and he needs to hold himself accountable, but he's left to the dogs. There's space. It was very naive. We rocked up at Old Trafford with a team that's good on the counter attack and good attacking players, and we're open. We opened our front door. Of course, if you leave your front door open, you know, many people are going to walk past and mind their business, but you're going to get a chance that's going to go inside and try rub something, which is what happened to us against United. Take nothing away from them because we're better than us. Obviously, we're going to always play a high line because we want to be a possessive-based team, and I don't know how you'd mitigate against it, but maybe we could have dropped the line deeper or been a bit smarter because, again, we got into foot races with Marcus Rashford and Anthony in that. And to be honest, as we looked at in that game, you know, the Anthony goal was very frustrating. Great from United perspective. I think every 11 players touched the ball. But literally just before that happened, there was an incident where Xhaka, Zinchenko, defensively, for as great as their partnership is going forward, not a single player has looked over their shoulder. And obviously other players are to blame with the ball being in play. You know, on the ball against United, we were decent. Off the ball, we lost it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, man. Mudruk is a baller, showed it against Leipzig, top of the league. If confidence is an issue, maybe in the wrong sport. Tell him again, Cheza. There, you said it. Partey, I would give like 10, 15 minutes against Everton near the end of the game and get him in slowly. I mean, if he's fit, but I'm tired of players being injured, come back, and then they're injured again. So, like, I know everybody's trying their hardest, but can we get it right? And for these players, they have to be a bit sensible. I know all these players want to play. I think they care, but you need to be a bit sensible. You know, in your heart, if you know you're not fully fit, don't do it. Because I do think we've seen that with Partey rushing back. We saw it with Tierney as well last season. So, yeah, man. Europa League group stage should be a youngsters thing. Let the fringe players gain momentum and cause problems for the first team, provided they're good enough. You're right, but we're down to our bare bodies, bro. You know, we're down to the bare minimum. Where are these guys now at this point? Do you think Vieira will get 90 minutes? I mean, it all depends, but, you know, you've never stood a better chance to get significant minutes and play close to 90 minutes today, innit? You know, he arrived, as Arteta said, we're going to get into it in a sec, but as Arteta said in his press conference, during the medical, he had an injury. Obviously, he had that protective boot on. He's been you know, the vast majority of minutes he's got was probably 45 or something like that, or maybe, I can't remember if it was 45 or 60 against Swansea's under-21s. Obviously, come off the bench against United, been on the bench in a couple of Prem games. I don't know who's asked for Arteta out and Thomas Tuchel in, but everyone's free to their opinions. Wait on Thomas, slot him in the next Europa League game, get some minutes back in the legs. I mean, if he's fit enough to play today or Everton, by all means, but is it 100% certain now? Because he's 29, he costs 45 million. At some point, we're going to need to move on from relying on Partey like this. You know, it's very naive that we're relying on certain injury-prone players to stay fit to play a big part in our season. The way it's moving, we're going to be saying the same things as we did last year. And as you know, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same things and expecting differences. I'd like to see Saka, but at the same time, I don't. Saka, Jesus, you know, I'd love for them, out of everyone, I'd love for them to rest up. Maybe Martinelli as well. Vieira was our best player when he came on. I mean, increasing cameo. Impressive cameo. But, yeah, it is what it is in that regards, man. Looks a very decent player. So we'll have to see, man. Hopefully he can just, one love, my guy, businessman settings. Hopefully he can get his Arsenal career kicked on now, really and truly, man. It's been enough for the day. 115 likes. Very appreciative to you lot, people. Keep your opinions and whatnot coming in. Let's start looking at the latest news. What's the timestamp? My brain just went pause there. 49:29. Transfer news. / latest news. So yeah, man, let's crack on anyways, people. A bit parched. Let's have some of this first. Tab police allow me. Tabs are going to be closed and whatnot. Let's close that. Let's close that. Let's close that. So yeah, it is what it is. Keep your opinions coming, people. I won't miss any. Again, we can't look past Zurich today, but apparently Everton could be without Jordan Pickford, who could miss a month with a thigh injury. And we're going into an international period very soon. Hopefully that means Ramsdale can nail down the #1 spot, even though Nick Pope is playing quite well. Lino Salsa has travelled with Arsenal's first team. Obviously, he was involved in the pre-season tour, the fullback. Cedric is injured, so maybe that has a point to prove. You know, I would love for us to batter FC Zurich, and as many homegrown players that have travelled, the young academy boys, would love for them to evidently get minutes, people. So we're going to have to see where that one's concerned. Where do we start? Tab Police, you might be right still, really. Is Partey's ability at a high level enough where you think it's worth waiting on him all the time to be fit? Yes and no. We've got no choice. But, I mean, if someone's always injured, then they're not reliable. When Partey's fit, he's quality, but you're never fit. And then, you know, the most you've played since you've been here is 8 games. So the 45 million hasn't been justified. You could be, you know, there's no point Messi being the best player ever if he's not available, is it? And it seems like the players that are 30 for us are never fit. So, man said no racism. He's not paying attention, bro. Them man, they're on a yes massa thing. But yeah, I mean, Scholes is never happy about anything. But if he's raving about Arsenal players, it must be decent. He says he really likes Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. I'm here to push the propaganda, but forget all of that now. Apparently, Mikel Arteta is eager to end Arsenal's long European drought. I mean, Arteta, it's down for you not to be naive when we get to the latter stages. I think the team, you included, across the 2 games against Olympiacos, shot ourselves in the foot. Why you decided to play Smith Rowe as a false 9 against Villarreal, have to hold yourself accountable. I actually don't know. Was he in charge when we lost to Atletico Madrid? I don't know. But, you know, when Arsenal get to the latter stages of competitions, it's crazy. So hopefully we haven't won a trophy in Europe since 1993-94. So not in my lifetime, people. And we take on Zurich today. You know, Xhaka, I hope he scores or does something. He's playing in Switzerland. But our gaffer has said that's a long time. We'd like to be the first one to break that negative record, but you have to start somewhere, and it starts tomorrow by playing well and earning the right to win the match. So we'll have to see. And he's also sent for Leno as well, people. Well, before that, he said, we want to start the competition in the right way and maintain our momentum. So maybe that's a gauntlet. Arteta saying, you know what, I'm playing my best team. People come off if they need to come off, people. And he went on to, I think he sent for Leno as well. Obviously, Leno was talking about politics. He said, I'm really surprised. And I don't know if he's talking about the politics when he was starting every match or the politics when he wasn't playing. Really surprised about it. I would be as well, because you was bigging up Leno's professionalism. And then Leno's always been a bit of a soft youth and never afraid to talk and stuff. So I hear that. Apparently, Partey, Smith Rowe, Cedric, Suarez have not travelled with the squad to Switzerland due to injury, as we kind of already know. What happened to Cedric, I don't actually know, but it is what it is in that regards, folks. Closing that, what has been said here in terms of injury updates with Smith Rowe. He felt discomfort in an area that he's been dealing with now for a few weeks. He wasn't comfortable after the game, and he hasn't trained in the last few days, so he's out of the squad. So I don't know if he'll be about for Everton, people, at the weekend or on Sunday. We don't have that many players available. Boy, we're saying this in the first 2 weeks of September. You play with fire, you get burned. I've got no sympathy. We don't have that many players available. Unfortunately, with injuries we've picked up in the last 2 weeks, this is a competition that we want to take very seriously against an opponent that is going to make life difficult for us. We want to start the competition the right way and maintain our momentum. In relation to Bukayo Saka and fitness level, said we'll try. If the squad and performances allow us, we'll try our best to manage his load and get him on the field in the best possible condition. After November, we have something that we have never experienced before. So we have something we've never experienced before. We're in our uncharted waters. We don't know how the World Cup is going to impact, on top of us having to play more games than last year, and we don't have a bigger squad. Don't have any words. Don't have any words, really. Don't have any words. Don't know what could be said there. Xhaka says Zurich deserve our respect, people. You know, he's basically our captain, respectfully, to Odegaard. It looks like we have the whole team here because we have an opponent tomorrow that we have to respect. I agree with that, but also because we ain't got much of a choice. It's a good team and one that is dangerous, but we want to start well in a new competition and we want to take the 3 points back to London. Amen. This is a new competition. It's not the same as the Premier League. We've had a very good start in the Premier League, but tomorrow is a different game. Have to be careful, people, and hopefully we can claim our first European trophy since 1994. Obviously, we flirted with it and got absolutely battered against Chelsea. So, boy, in terms of a preview, in fact, we'll circle back over that. Once again, Arteta sets target to win the Europa League, people. I think we've seen that already, really. And we'll go over Mikel Arteta's comments. I mean, every word from Mikel Arteta's pre-Zurich presser on bringing a strong squad, and if that's an indication of trying to qualify as quickly as possible, we're spinning the narrative. It is, but we don't have any players. We don't have that many players available, unfortunately, with the injuries we picked up in the last 2 weeks. This competition that we want to take very seriously against an opponent that is going to make life difficult for us. We want to start the competition the right way and maintain our momentum. I hope that is the case. I really hope that is the case, man. I really do hope that is the case. But I don't know. Anyways, away from that, we know we've already kind of spoken about the European games. On if we are seeing the benefits of managing Martinelli's minutes in the past, I don't know. We tried to make a decision based on what we see. Obviously, Martinelli's benefited from Smith Rowe being injured and taking his chances. That left wing is for him to lose. Where the players are at and the space they have in the team, when we believe they are ready to step in and give their performances and expose them, where it's fair for the players to demand certain things that you're exposed to at this club. Now you see a player with tremendous talent who is performing consistently at a very high level. He needs to keep doing that and keep improving. I mean, obviously, he's going to have nothing but sympathy for Thomas Tuchel leaving Chelsea. On if it makes him appreciate the stability he has. What it makes me realize is what I've always told you, that we have a profession that at some stage this can happen. We have to prevent it, enjoy the journey and enjoy every day, because you never know when that's coming. We spoke about Smith Rowe on Xhaka's new role. He said he has a different role this year. He's in more advanced areas, and I think he's playing really well, which is true. He's been really consistent this season and is a really important player for us. On Tierney and how he's reacted to not playing when Zinchenko's been fit. Well, first of all, Kieran went through a period of 3 or 4 months with an injury. He's come back. He's in a good place, and what we want is to have competition in every position. His position is no different. So what about in midfield? I mean, I can't lie, big up Xhaka and Arteta, but I think everybody's tired of hearing about this. We get it. Xhaka has been convinced to stay. He's now staying at the club. On Fabio Vieira, and if he's helped him to stay out the spotlight at the start of the season, we're looking for players that can play in 3 positions in the front line and in attacking midfield positions. We were looking for very specific qualities in the market. And when I saw him, I really liked what I saw. Straight away, I was convinced that he was a player who could help us go to the next level and that he had the right personality and character to play for our club. It's a shame that we detected an injury when we were doing the medical. He had no preseason and everything has been delayed. But hopefully you are going to see a lot more of him in the next few weeks, and I'm sure you'll enjoy. Hopefully, could have scored a very good goal, man. Really, I really like Danilo, but don't know what his defensive position is like. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a massive jump into European football. He's not going to be a household name. You know, you can't have a player at one stage and he's got the potential to be this, and you wake up overnight and he's this quality player. You need to iron out those edges, and that's for players that we're going to bring in the future, players that have been brought in this summer and last, and players that have been here for a couple of years. Obviously, when in relation to Zurich, he said the biggest danger is that after the season they had last year, they haven't got the results that they expected. You can see how willing they are to win football matches. This is a different competition, a different context, and I expect a team that is going to be ready, very ready tomorrow. We spoke about Leno's comments, and we spoke about managing Bukayo Saka's workload as well. In terms of a preview, after missing out on continental action last term, we're back for a 5th attempt at lifting the Europa League, which will see us face Zurich, PSV, and Glint. You know, good teams across these 6 games, and there's across 8 weeks, so it's coming thick and fast. It'll be our first trip to the country since a 4-1 win at Basel in the Champions League back in 2016. However, we won't be heading to Zurich with the game taking place 54 miles away at St. Glorians Coburn Park due to staging conflict. Having recovered from a surprise relegation in 2017, Zurich have turned their fortunes around and claimed their 13th Swiss title last season by a 14-point margin. So they're not little, man, which was their first in 13 seasons. They've also won 10 domestic cups and have reached the semi-finals of the European Cup on 2 occasions. They featured in the group stage of the Champions League in 09-10. This will be their 5th appearance in the Europa League group stage since then, with the most recent coming in 2018-19 when they reached the last 32 by beating Napoli. Apparently, their manager left and he was replaced. Apparently, they're yet to have a win in the league in 7 attempts. They're 9th. Boy, so you can't write out, form goes out the window, really. So we're going to have to see, people. They could have been in the Champions League. They lost to Kat Yarabag on penalties. Their last game on Saturday saw them lose at home as well via a last-minute goal, which is their 3rd defeat on their own turf. Technically, they're not playing. Obviously, this Wilfred Ganato guy plays for Italy and formerly of them has now gone to Leeds. He looks like a baller. Who's their standout names? Obviously, there's a couple Swiss internationals. Wasn't this the guy that used to Donis? He used to be at Shakhtar. He hasn't quite done much. Their manager has said we're looking forward to this extra. And you got to be scared. You got to be careful because Zurich have nothing to lose. If they lose, it's business as usual. If they win, you know what's happening, and that should be a weight off their shoulders. And like us, you know, based on the last game we lost, this could be a welcome relief. The league's irrelevant for right now. Do your thing. We're looking forward to this extraordinary match in front of a sold-out crowd against Arsenal tomorrow, 12th man business. It'll be important that we're compact defensively, but then once we've got the ball, we play calm and decisively. A lot is possible in one game. We will do everything we can to achieve the best possible result. Arsenal are extremely good at positional play. I don't know if that was in the second half at Old Trafford, and often have a lot of possession. Got to do something with it. We have to keep the gaps in the wide and depth small because the Gunners are also great at moving between the lines. So we'll have to see, man. Obviously, we've gone over this in terms of team news. El Nene, Partey, Nelson, Cedric, Smith Rowe, all out. So, yeah, people, it is what it is. We have won all 6 of our last matches to date against Swiss opposition. And it'll be the first time we play Zurich. Boy. So, yeah, man, hopefully Eddie goes out there and bags and does what he needs to do. But, yeah, long time, man. Who's that? Perez and that. So, yeah, he's provided an update. We don't need to go over that. What's this? Ian Wright said we need to re-sign Iwobi. I mean, Iwobi's always been essential mid. I don't know about that, Ian, man. Big up yourself. You was unhappy about Hector Bellerin. We'll go over Brooke Norton Coffey. Apparently, he's been speaking to Goal.com about his loan. He said, I took the number 10 to put a bit of pressure on myself. I knew if I was wearing that shirt, I would have to play well. I knew I would have to go forward a bit more and show a bit more to my game than just doing my defensive duties. I think putting pressure on myself will hopefully get the best out of me, and that's what I want to do. Big up yourself, Brooke. Best of luck over there. I want to put myself in a situation where I'm not in a comfortable situation, because I think when I have pressure on me, that's when I perform the best. When you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you learn from it the most. I knew taking the 10 shirt would cause a bit of commotion, but that's just me putting pressure on myself and telling myself I have to step up this season and contribute. Hopefully you can build off the great loan spell you had at Lincoln at Rotherham, and sooner rather than later break. I think you got a lot to do to break in and play consistently for Arsenal Football Club, but do your thing. And he went on to say, I always knew that I was going back on loan. Of course, you're not going to play for Arsenal. Cedric's still there. Ben White's playing right back. Tommy Yasu is there. I always knew that I was going back on loan. I felt that under 23s football is good, but I've already had a sniff of senior football, and I wasn't going to shy away from that. I think he's been a bit kind. Under 23s football is shit once you get to a certain level. I want to keep progressing, and men's football is a lot more challenging for me than the under 23s. So as soon as my spell with Lincoln was done, I knew I was going back on loan. I sat down with the Arsenal staff, with Per Mertesacker. My first meeting was with him and Ben Napo. We sat down and I said I wanted to go on loan. So we started discussing clubs and trying to find the best fit for me. And obviously he won. He's part of the under-19s who won at youth level with England. And big up to Dan, who's gone on loan at MK, former Arsenal, now Brentford lad. He went on to say, I'm not sure if it's the championship or the club that I'm at right now, but training is intense. It's a lot of running, a lot of demand on the body, which again, games come thick and fast. For a young 18, 19-year-old, there's no point being good on Tuesday if you're not good on the Friday or the Saturday, and keeping that consistency, which is very key position in this team. I feel like it's been a lot harder. You can't switch off in League One. If you lose the ball and make a silly mistake, sometimes you don't get punished. But if you do make silly mistakes in this league, you do so. It's about learning quickly. This was the next step for me. League One last season was a good step from under 23s football, but you always look to improve. And I think I just needed to go up a level again. Now I feel myself improving with each game. So it's good. Big up yourself, people. And obviously he arrived as a further attacking player, and much like all us fullbacks, we get shit back. You see that it can be done. So they are inspirations. He's talking about the academy boys because you can see it's achievable. I used to see them at Haylen, and now when you got to London Coley, they're the main people in the first team. It's inspirational. So let's see. The details just out of this world when speaking about. Of course, you're going to make mistakes and stuff, but it's not that much room for error. Every pass has to be the right side. Your touch has to be away from the defender. I do think technically Brooke Norton Coffey, I don't know if you're going to improve too much, but to really nail down a spot in Arsenal's team's got to improve. I back him all the way. I think give him until he's 20. But yeah, you have to be in the right position and you have to play for the team. You can't just play for yourself. Everything he does has a purpose. And when you go over there, he makes sure that you understand that. He said, I want to reach my potential or go above and beyond what my potential is. In my career, I want to be a star player in the top league in Europe, and I want to win as many trophies as possible. Big up, Brooke. Wishing you all the best in that. What else is being said? Tab Police. Vieira, Marquinhos, and other stars set for big Europa League opportunity, says Charles Watts. Maybe by default. Fabio Vieira, we hope he starts. Eddie, you know, you're the cup king for us. I hope you do your thing. I don't think Liverpool at this moment in time are going to sack him. I was watching the stream and you inspired me to tune into Liverpool. I did not regret it. I didn't switch. I watched the highlights, but I didn't switch, man. It was Bayern Munich into Milan business. Smith Rowe isn't featuring, as we know. I hope Marquinhos can play some minutes. Rob Holding, Mr. 352 will probably start. Matt Turner will probably start. Tierney will probably start. And obviously Tomiyasu, as they look to get minutes under the belt. Bad news for Arsenal. Apparently, Juventus are eager to... Let's refresh this, in fact. But before we do that, Juventus are eager to sign... Smash the like button. Juventus are eager to sign Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz in the winter transfer window. If I'm Villa, I'd rather sell him abroad. Probably even... I'd rather get more money. But if they offer me 20 and Arsenal offer me 25, I think it would be smart to get the 25. But I might say, you know what, go abroad where you're not going to play against us. I don't think we're going back in for Douglas Luiz, but I would love it. I don't think we're going to bid 25 million in January, but January is a difficult market. Nobody really wants to buy or sell. It's you have to do it out of necessity if you feel your club is short and things. And I do hope Arsenal bring a midfielder in. You know, I do think a couple of Premier League clubs could make things happen, really. Apparently, Graham Potter wants to bring a recruitment analyst to him, with him, really, to Chelsea. Where's the Arsenal related? Tuchel wanted to sell, bro. He might get an opportunity there, really. Let's refresh this and see if there's anything else Arsenal related. Don't know why we're on this page. It's not the time for transfers, but yeah. Graham Potter has said goodbye to the Brighton Dons. Bro, Karius is set to join Newcastle. Crazy for a Liverpool, man. Chelsea have reached a verbal agreement over Graham Potter. So yeah, make of that what you will, folks. It is what it is. Galatasaray going to sign Rasika. Wasn't you at Norwich? Zaha to be offered a new deal. I think I saw an article on that. What's this? Well, we don't know because how's it froze? I think this was in relation to Lucas Torreira. No clue why they say load them. Fuck it. Is what it is. And that one is the same, ain't it? The hell is happening? It's a bit of a killer, isn't it? What's going on with these pages? This was just saying, Ornstein apparently said, this was just an article, I read it already, saying that apparently when Emre left, Arsenal wanted to bring Brendan Rodgers to the carpet. Go for a Wolby. I don't know about that, but fair enough. Crystal Palace offers Zaha a new deal as Arsenal target enters final year of his contract, but he can speak to foreign clubs over a free transfer in January. Maybe a cut price move for Zaha, Douglas Luiz, or Telemans would be lit, but I don't think we're going for any of them people. And Palace are determined to hold on to Zaha. He's in the final year of his contract. You know, they're trying to tie him down. As you know, he's in the pivotal year of his contract, like Douglas Luiz, like Telemans, like several players, really and truly. You know, and at 29, there might be a chance. There was interest with Chelsea. I don't know with what's going on there if they'll go back for him. Arsenal, I do think there's admiration, but I don't think we're going to go for him. So, yeah, we'll have to see, really, where that's concerned. Arsenal star was priority target for European giant. I mean, Fabrizio Romano, we already know Real Madrid wanted to sign Gabriel Jesus, but they had issues around, you know, registering non-Spanish or non-EU players, or however the La Liga thing works. So it's irrelevant. Their loss is our gain. You know, apparently Thomas Partey, you know, could be back versus Everton. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of hearing about him. This was more just for me. Again, Arsenal blowers Crystal Palace offer Zaha a new contract. And to be honest, you can't, you know, they idolize you at Crystal Palace. Maybe it's worth staying. But at 29, when you're 33, you know, you're going to just get a handshake fakes for the service. And then it's the new kids on the block. You know, if you do want to try another adventure at Arsenal or elsewhere, do it. It's like Graham Potter. He could very well say, I'm going to stay at Brighton. If results somehow go left for Brighton and stuff, then you know what happens with gaffers, really. You know, Brendan Rodgers was linked with big clubs and now he could get sacked. Obviously, there's no smoke without fire. But yeah, it is what it is. This is more for me, really, and truly more than anything, people. Ian Wright suggests, well, why have I got so much about Ian Wright here? Moving away from that, people, Arsenal prepared to splash out 43 million to sign top Ukrainian attacker, who excelled in Champions League opener. Arsenal were reportedly willing to bid 43 million in their efforts to sign highly rated Shakhtar Donetsk attacker Mudruk in the final days of the summer transfer window. As you know, the 21-year-old is just gaining more and more admirers. Brentford tried to buy him. We're looking at him. Juventus allegedly are interested in him as well. I don't really buy this. I don't think we're going to find 43 million from him in January without addressing midfield. But you know, would love him to come to the carpet, or anybody else really. So we'll have to see how that develops. Henry reveals his worry for Arsenal season despite impressive Premier League campaign. What has he said? Of course, the squad's going to be exposed. He said, I can see a team there, a togetherness, and I like that. Look, the team is different, but you got the likes of Gabriel Jesus, William Saliba, Odegaard, Saka. The thing with Jesus is he knows how to win. He has one. He's bringing that into the team. You can see it. I believe in them. I haven't believed like this for a very long time. Believe that we could do something. But I worry about the Europa League because of the depth of the team. I think the starting 11 is good enough, but this is a long season. So it might be a bit too much for them. There you have it. There you have it. I'm worried about that. As a coach, you think about how you're going to cope with this season, and then there's a World Cup as well. These are all variables that we knew were going to happen before summer. So there's no sympathy. I only have sympathy for the playing staff if they have to play more. I only have sympathy for the fans. I don't have sympathy for Arteta, Edu, or anyone connected with the football club, because we've been knowing this really and truly. Do you do another pre-season after that? What do you do with the players who don't go? How will the players come back physically and mentally? It's going to be a tough one for sure. So we're going to have to see. We're really going to have to see how that one day develops, people. I mean, this was a guy linked with Arsenal. Let's just call him KK. He absolutely ripped Trent Alexander-Arnold, the new one. I mean, we've been having that. You know what Martinelli did to Duns, but it's all calm. Moving away from all of that, what's all of this? As you can see, I look at a lot of football leads. We'll look at that later. Haaland doesn't create. I think Henry rates Mbappe more than Haaland. So do I, but Haaland's a monster as well, if I'm honest with you. Apparently, Rennes is number 2. Hales Balogun, he's decisive, and this is what you want to see around him. He said, I don't know the language and I'm learning it. For me, it's important to get out of my comfort zone and find the challenge. That's why I'm here. I hope it's the right decision and it will pay off. This is Balogun. My goal this season, I hope to score 10 goals and make 5 assists. I mean, you're halfway there. Yeah, I think that's a bit too conservative, brother. The way you're moving, man, need to get 20, 15, 20. Now, obviously, there's going to be a time where he's not bagging week in, week out. But, you know, that's an attainable goal. I hope to learn French before leaving. If I manage to do that, I'll mark them up again. But those are my goals. And then the assistant coach, the number 2, said, since he's arrived, he's been very consistent in what he offers. You know, he complements the other striker. He said he's very interesting for us. He manages to be decisive. He creates chances. He moves well. He participates in the game. He combines well with the players around him. And I think he's learned from his first loan spell at Middlesbrough and learning now, really. We are stronger offensively. We do badly in transitions. He's important for our team. And that's what you want to hear with Balogun. I ain't heard that about Tavares yet. Ruben Neves says he's focused on Wolves after he failed to move to Man United, Barcelona, or Arsenal, people. And hopefully we can go back in from one day. He said, it's football. You never know what will happen in football. At that time, almost everything was ready for me to go. But this is football. And you can see I'm completely focused on being here. What I'm doing and what the team is doing since the start of the season means that I'm 100% focused on here. I want to keep going and have another great season here. I'm really happy, like I always say. After the last game last season, I said that we have a short career to follow our dreams, but everyone knows I'm really happy here. There's no secrets with that. I had the chance to go. I didn't go and I stayed. I'll give 200% for this club because they've given me a lot. They've given me the best things I've had in football for now, and I want to give everything for them. I'll give my best to help the team. When asked about a new deal, he said, there's nothing about that at the moment. I'm thinking about playing and to keep playing the way I am right now. We have a long journey to go this season. That's where I will focus myself. Fair enough. Shameless plug of KLOPP, people, but don't forget to set your reminders across YouTube and Twitch. I will be live at 4:45, an hour before kickoff. Shout American Gunner, aka American Gooner, for being in the cut. Clement as well, people. So make sure you set your reminders for that. Obviously, might as well look at it with you. You know, I believe Pogba, obviously Pogba, his brother, Mbappe, there's all this witchcraft thing going on, really. I don't know what's going on there. Really don't know what's going on there. Klopp has said Wolves can't stop laughing. What specifically has Klopp said? It looks a little bit like we have to reinvent ourselves. You reckon? A couple years too late, mate. There's a lot of things lacking, and the fun part is that we have to do it in the middle of the Premier League and Champions League campaign. In 3 days, we play Wolves, and if they saw the game tonight, they probably cannot stop laughing. They will say it's the perfect moment. I would say it's the perfect moment, but we have to try to set up to be much better in pretty much everything. Everything, bro. You conceded 4 goals, got put all around the shop. The only from what you lot say, only Luis Diaz looked like he did something, and the defense looks a shambles. Big up the women's game as well, people. Apparently, England midfielder has joined Barcelona from Man City for a world record fee. Groundbreaking stuff, really. Apparently, she was in the last year of her deal as well. I mean, it's nice to see, but from a business point of view, it's nice to make their history. But yeah, as you can see there, Chelsea have reached a verbal agreement with Brighton manager Graham Potter to replace Thomas Tuchel as their next head coach, people. So it is what it is in that regards. Karius, former Liverpool man, going to Newcastle after a Darlow injury. And unfortunately, Spurs won yesterday against 10-man Marseille. What else is going on? Met police recruit specialist football hate crime officer. I don't know about that. And it's upsetting seeing even in the background of the Champions League, there was definitely another racist incident, Juventus PSG. And I don't know who, in the, clearly not all the Celtic fans, but some dickheads are throwing bananas at Vinicius Jr., Vinicius Jr., I pray that you DM their wives and their daughters and things, man. But yeah, racism is never going to stop, man. Obviously, gigs to face reach over assault, controlling behaviors. I mean, look, this guy up. Terrific footballer, absolute fucking scumbag, ain't he, really? But yeah, man. That seems to be where all the latest noise around Arsenal is concerned, people. I'll circle the block once again for some other stuff, but yeah, it seems like that's that, people. Appreciative to you lot. Sorry for missing you lot out. Let me see exactly what you guys have had to say, people. 166 likes. Can we begin the assault to 200, folks? Peace and love in advance. I'll be honest. I'll be surprised if Arteta doesn't get sacked this season. He's too naive. I mean, at the end of the day, if he gets fifth again, they might say last season we started our project fifth. Overestimate the improvements. He signed a new contract as well, so I don't know if he'll necessarily be sacked. If he doesn't get top four, there has to be question marks. DG, what's your opinions on the Kroenkes in terms of how much they give Edu and Arteta for transfer windows? I think, if I'm not mistaken, United spent more this window than we have in the last two. Spend correctly, man. Chelsea have spent 400 million. They just sacked their gaffer. I don't think obviously you can't get around spending, but what Arsenal need to do is spend correctly. I don't think we've done that, and we've not addressed areas of the side. Maybe, if it's Todd Burry or someone, they might have asked more questions on why you haven't got a midfielder. I think the expectations, apart from those that they place on themselves, isn't high enough. Because for me, I hope it all goes right. But for me, I don't think we've learned the lessons. I hope everybody's fit and whatnot. But I know we've got more games and we've got multiple competitions. We've got a smaller squad, more games. That doesn't fill me with confidence. I have no sympathy for any injuries now because you've been knowing it. Arteta, you've been here for a long time. I do think if beyond the pressures he put on himself, I do think there needs to be pressure. I don't really like the stat. I do like it, but I don't like it how Kroenke leaves people to their own devices. And I think there's got to be question marks for Edu and Arteta. If we don't have the season, we don't, because they're in charge of planning the squad. Really. I can't blame Kroenke for the last 2 years. There's been money to spend. If you only had 100-odd million, you should have made it clear that you got a midfielder. You found 25 million to try and buy Douglas Luiz on the last day. Why couldn't you have done that before? Similar fee could have got Telemans, Really, really and truly. Outgoings, we did it. It's nice that we got some outgoings gone, but we didn't do nothing of significance. We've known we've needed a midfielder from before Arteta arrived at this club, or a couple of them. We know the injuries. We know we have to afford the luxury of the naiveties of the gaffer, but of these players as well because of their age. So I don't know. I have no sympathy, really. I can't. Any successes of this season or last season or failures, I can't put it at the feet of Kroenke. It is specifically on Arteta, and they do in the same way the positives are. This is the project we're doing, isn't it? Lack of depth on the wings is affecting our midfield. Smith has to be converted into our left centre mid, so we have a player as reliable as Xhaka on the bench. Mudruk has to be a priority in Jan. So does Douglas Luiz or Danilo. Scenes when Lamptey is subbed on for Reece James. I don't think Brighton will care. They'll make their bread in it. 60-odd million for Cucurella, 50 for Ben White. Significantly more than... Not that I think Lamptey's done amazing since he's gone to Brighton, but yeah, he's a good player. They'll make their peas back. I kind of feel bad for Brighton. They were flying so far this season and playing some saucy football. Good luck to Potter, though he deserved a big job. And I mean, it is what it is, If Tossart, like Bissouma, not that I want to praise Spurs, if Tossart, Welbeck, I don't know, Calcedo, if they get bigger clubs looking at them or more important projects, I can't blame them. Likewise with the manager. It is what it is. In life, you always want to elevate. And for me, I would do the Potter thing. I could. You can't discount stability at Brighton, especially if you see managers get sacked for less. But if things go wrong at Brighton, Potter's not going to be able to sit there and go, oh, you know, I was going to sign for Chelsea. You know, I didn't do it because of you. They're going to still sack my man. The worst that can happen for Graham Potter is it doesn't work out at Chelsea. You still get another job, really. It didn't work out for Rodgers at Liverpool, and he did a bit better at Leicester. It's going collapse now, but you're still going to get a job. You know, he didn't do anything really at Liverpool. He done well at Leicester. When Emre got cooked, we just saw that, or well, we tried to see that allegedly we was looking at him. It is what it is, really. I'm sure Brighton probably have the next. They listen. Brighton seem like a very forward-thinking club. They on the scouting front and things. Obviously, it's never going to be as identical. It might work, it might not. But you'd imagine that they were braced based on the way they move. And I know they lost their technical director, but based on the way they move, they have to have been briefed that Potter was going to cut one day. So they must have some sort of targets in mind. Ironically, apparently Brendan Rodgers has been linked with them as well. Let me type in Emre Brendan Rodgers because it's jarring me that we're unable to see that. And you look back in 2019, you know, look at some of these articles. How Brendan Rodgers has turned Leicester into what Emre said Arsenal would be. Yeah. Swear down. Yeah. Fast forward, he's busting out. You're not signing a new deal, you shouldn't. Vardy's getting on, you're leaving as well, and your days appear numbered. Funny how life can change, really and truly. Apparently, he was not keen on leaving Leicester for Arsenal after Emre's dismissal, and I don't blame him for such. Ornstein says some at Arsenal really wanted 49-year-old to be their manager at one point. What specifically did he say? There are delicate situations at Leicester. Whatever has happened with the lack of investment this summer, Brendan Rodgers was an FA Cup winner with Leicester. He was pushing for Champions League football. Exactly, but they didn't kick on, really and truly. I remember how aggressively some at Arsenal wanted to appoint him when they went for Unai Emery. And when he won the FA Cup, I got messages from people saying, I told you he's a top coach. But he is a top coach, absolute top coach. The only thing I hate about Brendan Rodgers, if you know, his treatment of Raheem Sterling and things he put out into the papers around Raheem Sterling that are still tarnishing that individual's name to this day, unfortunately, people. So, yeah, man, that's that where he's concerned, where Brendan Rodgers is concerned, folks. He typing Arsenal again. Boy, is what it is. Let's make a timestamp as well. Make sure we're on the ball with that. Got you lot. Apparently, Odegaard and Jesus are up for Premier League Player of the Month, as is the gaffer Mikel Arteta as well, folks. Let's see what else is happening. Really good news on Thomas Partey. I mean, when I see Partey staying fit for 20, I used to say 30 of the 38, and it's still achievable. But if you can be available for 20 consistent games, then I'll be amazed, man. Really amazed. Conte's also been nominated. I'd rather Conte win Player of the Manager of the Month than Arteta. Cause that thing, I don't believe in conspiracies, but there's some logic to it, really and truly. As you lot can see here, well, if I don't share the screen, you can't see. Jesus and Odegaard up for Premier League Player of the Month, which, you know, hopefully they do the thing. They're up there with Mitrovic, Pope, Rodrigo, Zaha, Pascal Gross, Haaland. I think Haaland wins that. You know, you can't, man's bagged 2 hat-tricks back-to-back. Started off blisteringly good. Forget the Champions League. Think that's calm. Jesus hit the ground rolling following his arrival from City, scoring or assisting in 6 in his first 5 Premier League appearances. He breaks Mesut Ozil's club record of 5 in that process. Odegaard's got 3 goals to his name. But yeah, Arteta's been nominated. Who's he up there with? Graham Potter, Pep, Antonio. I'd rather Conte win it if the managerial curse is true. I think I'd give it Potter. Haaland and Potter would be the player and manager for me alike, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal man. I'm going to be shameless and vote for the Arsenal Dons, but you get the point. Fabio Vieira gunning to prove Arsenal worth in Europa League start after injury delays dampen hype. I mean, is this Vieira speaking, or is this still Arteta? So Arteta would have been nice to see Fabio Vieira speaking. You say this, one benefit of Vieira's delayed introduction is that it's eased the pressure. I mean, if you just go off the United game, he's the best player in the Arsenal squad. I'm not saying he is or isn't. I'm not trying to criticize him, but he's the knight in shining armor for Arsenal. So I don't think you're going to escape. You know, Odegaard and Smith Rowe and Saka and Martinelli, these guys are praised to high heavens by Arsenal fans one week, criticized the next. such is football. So I don't think you can really save him in that regard. Ramsdale to get England opportunity as well. Cup looms probably, you know, obviously September we play against Italy and Germany. Probably I bet that this is going to talk about sorry, folks. As I was saying, I think this is probably going to talk about Pickford's injury, people, and I hope Ramsdale can take his chances if he is provided with that. Tavares unfortunately lost yesterday, and as I said, man, you know, he went out over to the right from what I could see because they were down to 10 men. But until someone can tell me that Tavares is stopping crosses, he's pocketing wingers, he's covering well, he's tracking, I don't really care what he does, you know. By all means, keep doing what you're doing at Marseille. Put yourself in the shop window or come back a better player here. But I know you're good going forward. Going forward, that don't impress me, really and truly. I need to see you're shutting out defenders same way. So, and he said he wanted a buy option. Go and get your buy option. It didn't work out for him at Arsenal, says Hargreaves. He's a fantastic attacking player, but the problem at Arsenal was he played in the back four. A completely different position. At Marseille, he's played wing-back and has been fantastic. He's been really good. Wing-backs all want to attack, and they're all much better attacking-wise. At Arsenal, playing as a pure defender, he struggled, as it said. You know. Crazy. So we'll have to see. He plays in a higher position. He had decent spells at Arsenal, but he seems to be flourishing at Marseille and looks good. Big up him. Don't forget, people, Europa League business later. So, yeah, it seems that is that in that regard. Talking points are welcome. People get them in, man. Get them in. Let's update that timestamp to 26. Bish, bash, bosh. Great stuff. And Greece off topic. I just remembered from what I watched, he was absolutely twining up my man in midfield. The Liverpool Dons in midfield. Also, what size is your jersey? Sorry. Mine is an M and it feels a little bit tight. It's fired. I think mine's a medium as well still. I couldn't. I don't know. DG13 and that. Let me see. Yeah, medium still. To be honest, football shirts are a bit tight. Ironically, I think the one that fits the best on me is the pink one. No, I'm lying. It's the home shirt, but this is becoming my favorite ones. Hey, bro, I was thinking of starting an Arsenal fan channel like you. Any tips? I don't know why. Respectfully, I don't know why you'd ask me for tips because I'm in no position. I'm not where I want to be. I'm fortunate to have you lot rock in, but there's not really advice I can give you. I'm no one in this thing, really. I ain't done much. But what I would say is be consistent. That's the biggest thing. Be consistent. Literally. It might not sound like advice, but be consistent. Would you lads take Pjanic on the free? He's going Saudi Arabia, so that one there is a myth. Big up the Kenyans from Nairobi, as usual, DG. That Trent disaster class yesterday makes me feel achieved of not having big personalities at Arsenal. Crazy. DG is a quality content creator. He even covers news on women's football and news on other teams. That's class. Not too many content creators cover news outside of the club they support. Big up, Marcel. Appreciate that. I'm a fan. I love my football club. But I'm a fan of the game first, man. And, you know, as much as we can waffle about Arsenal, not that there's much today to waffle about until we see the result. Football's a big game, man. I love football for what it is. And it's not like it's the transfer window open, so it helps me doing streams with other news, isn't it, really? It's a bit of a struggle now. Ban them for life from every gown. Yeah, man. Amen. I think I saw that question already. Let me scroll the way up. Shout to you lot. Who drops out of Bayern, Inter, and Barca? Wins Europa. Oof, Europa's brazy. Large up yourself, Kyle, as well. Shout out, David. Agreed, but hopefully Sambi understands the role more before then. I mean, long term, it's going to help Sambi, but he's going to have to learn. It's like riding a bike. Obviously, when you take off the stabilizers, you're going to drop bare times and cut up your knees and things. And for Lokonga, that's last season, anytime we went away from home. Brighton, for me, definitely Liverpool. There was a stage where I didn't want to see Lokonga because he looked very scared. I would say, not that I do think he's being a bit scapegoated with Arsenal fans, but Old Trafford, that if you're riding the bike, you're dropping off the bike, you're scraping your knees, you're getting cuts. But long term, you're going to be able to ride a bike. But it's just tough. And as much as I think you have to account for that for all our young players, that's on one side. On the other side, I just want top four. And the more that this keeps happening, the more that not just him, but everyone and the self-implodement, the harder we make it in our quest for top four. And that's all I care about. I don't really care about bragging rights over the top 6 teams, about North London rivals. Obviously, I want that. I just want to see Arsenal in the Champions League. You always hear me say it. We just need to get to December in and around the top 4 place. And we're already seeing injuries. We're approaching unprecedented waters. We don't know the effects of the World Cup for players that are playing, the few in the Arsenal squad, and actually the fitness levels of those who aren't. You know, maybe there's another pre-season. Maybe we go Dubai again. We don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, January, a blind man could see we need to do something in the market. Hopefully, Edu, from the moment the August window shut, he began dotting I's, crossing T's, speaking with advisors, getting us a midfielder and anything else we need. Why can't we buy ready-made players instead of having to wait for them to develop? We need to, listen, we're doing this development thing. The vast majority of these players are going to be Jesus and Odegaard, in my opinion, are ready-made, and Tomiyasu, but at the same time, they're not. If Jesus was the final product, he probably wouldn't be at Arsenal. Odegaard, the same. So there's always that element, but I do agree with you. What you need to have a couple of exceptions to the rules. Once again, this is why I like the fact that Xhaka is also always fit. This is why I'm a bit harsher on Partey's injury issues in opposed to, I don't know, Smith Rowe, because you're 29. You're not going to be here forever. You know, you can still be here significantly. But what these players, the El Nenes, the Parteys, whether you rate them or not, Cedrics, these guys, they're helping to set up what we're doing in the future, really and truly. What you lot do now sets up the platform for the guys even younger than Saka, for Saka in his mid-20s and things like that. We ain't got time to waste. I was really impressed with Kudus for Ajax. Yeah, he scored an absolute peach of a goal, innit? Can anyone answer why all these Gunners getting injured, injury prone? It's mad we get injuries of players who don't have problems with injuries come to Arsenal. All of a sudden they become injury prone. Not a clue. Maybe there's something they're doing in terms of rehab. Maybe it's the workload in training. I don't know, man. You'd have to ask a medical, man. Honestly, I don't know, and I'm not smart enough to know that, man. If I'm completely honest, you'd have to ask someone knowledgeable in the medical field, but it is bewildering. You know, it's been here for a while and it's not going away. We need Danilo, Telemans, Mudruk in January. If so, we should be strong going into the second half of the season. I hear you, but Telemans' contract's running out. Mudruk is, would you want to lose Mudruk mid-season? Danilo, if he has a good campaign, gets called up to the Brazilian squad or just keeps impressing for Palmeiras, his price is going up. As you know, January is difficult to do business. Teams know that we need to buy a midfielder anyway, so there's going to be a tax applied, really. So I would like all of that, but let's just go. Mudruk is costing 43 million based on the reports we saw today. 25 million for 15 to 25 million for Telemans, according, if there's a discount, that takes it up to 60. If you're getting Danilo, let's say 25, so you're crossing the 80, 90 million sort of region. I don't see us doing that in January. Because, we heard we had to sell before we can buy. Saying that, we found 25 million to try and buy Douglas Luiz. We're talking with Danilo. Maybe was bidding for players we knew we weren't getting, but somehow at a point there was money to try and go for Rafinha. I don't know, people. So I don't know, man. All I can deal with is what's in front of us, and right now the playing squad, I like it, but it's reliant on everybody staying fit and no one getting suspended and all of those sort of things. First time in a while people are taking Arsenal seriously. If Partey's not there, is Xhaka the best option for a 6? Probably, but he's doing that. Xhaka's got his own problems there, and obviously, he's excelling somewhat in that advanced 8 role that Arteta's got, and I don't think Arteta is gonna is planning on stopping that anytime soon. Whether he could or should is another factor. Against Everton, Xhaka needs to back more to help Lokonga because he can't do it alone. I hear that. Personally, I think Arsenal's slacks dogs, bro. We got too many nice guys in our team. We ain't got too many trench babies. Hoping to see Vieira and Marquinhos start today. We need to rest as many players as we can as well. Everton ain't going to be easy, but at the same time, we need to win our games in the Europa. We're going again. Zurich aren't the biggest side. They're not in the best of form. They're not the global powerhouses. But this is European competition. You can't underestimate anyone. The players that are fit, there might be situations where we've suffered with injuries and we're in the knockout stages. Let's just say we have these very same injury problems. We're in the semi-finals of the Europa League. I don't know who we're playing. Whoever in it, the biggest team you can think of in the competition, we're playing them, and we play a must-win in terms of the Champions League qualification domestically on the Sunday. They have to be able to do this thing. They have to. Apparently, Partey is fit. Would you give him about 20 game minutes? Nah, man. If he is fit, you could, but Everton. And even that, if you're not 100% fit, there's no point playing, man. What's the point? You're going to play, get a setback, and we're back again in the same scenario. Potter is a fantastic coach, but we'll have to see how he does with zero footballing structure behind him. I hear that. Mudruk would be a good signing. Big up yourself every time, DG. Shout out to you as well, man. It's all the hierarchy's fault. They knew what the team was missing and what is needed. I wouldn't blame the hierarchy. The hierarchy can only be blamed for their employment of the managers not doing their jobs. It's well documented. Kroenke does the youth thing. They leave the managers to their own advice. It's specifically on Edu and Arteta. You've both been here. You've both played in the Premier League. You both knew the issues when you walked into this team. You both know the issues in the last period you've been together, when we had COVID, when we had injuries, all of these things. We've been here before. Me, man, DG, 13 on the shirt. Do not vote for Mikel Arteta for manager of the month. I don't want the curse. Hey, man, we work. Listen, I don't believe in them. On a serious note, I don't believe in them curses, man. When you got God on your side, all that witchcraft bullshit is nothing, man. I watched the Spurs game yesterday, and I pray Arsenal doesn't fall victim to their one trick, which is to counter-attack. Well, if Arsenal go out there like against United, like against Spurs last year, and teams that are good on the counter-attack, you don't have low blocks that are difficult to break down, you have hella space, you're playing stupid games, ultimately you're going to win stupid prizes. And we're going to be in that scenario, innit, really? So hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, it's at 140 still. Liverpool for Europa. I would take Trent at Arsenal, but play him in midfield. By default, he could play in midfield, but nah, I mean, he'll do it for Arsenal, but I don't think he'd be a quality midfielder like that. Again, if he's going to sleep as a right back, you can't go to sleep in midfield. Like, yeah, you can spray passes and that, but there's got to be a reason Liverpool converted you from you could play in it, especially in the back three, but there's got to be a reason Liverpool converted him from being a centre mid in the academies to being a right back. Maybe it was circumstantial. Maybe he saw it as a path to the first team. I think Trent could be a good midfielder, but I don't think he'd be playing for Liverpool week in, week out. I can do it, but he's too slack. Yeah, you're great on the ball, but you're too slack. If you're slack at right back, you can't play a midfield. There's no urgency in Trent's game, and until you address that, you can forget about playing midfield. Ferran Torres would have been lit, but another one bites the dust. You think you're no one, however you're in the field doing your thing. Big up yourself, DG Mike. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. Nah, man, I didn't even know. I know you don't miss those tight Puma shirts. Nope, and they don't even stay together, man. Like, the Puma shirts were meaty. Tavares is trying to be like Marcelo. Crazy. Nuno clearly thinks he's a winger doing up too much chatty patty, needs to chill. To be honest, he probably looks more like a winger than a thingy, man. Than a fullback at this moment in time. Brendan could be a good manager, but no thank you for what he said to Sterling. He can do one. Amen. Done him dirty, bro. How much shit he was putting in the papers, bro. Big up, DG. Hope you're well. If Partey stays fit, touchwood will be fine. I don't like ifs and buts, though. You know me, revolving circus, and you're not living up to your name. But in relation to the injuries at Arsenal, I think your name's appropriate to describe that. Really, Graham Potter, a great manager. He looks more. Oh, you're doing him dirty, man. Again, I don't like that. I like everything, but that's you're betting on too much, really. If it's cloudy outside and there might be rain, are you just gonna look positively and say, "Oh, I hope it don't rain today"? Or are you going to think positive and say, I hope it don't rain? Or I'm going to fucking have my waterproof jacket so that if it rains, it's not irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Fix the roof while the sun was shining. The sun was shining for Arsenal in pre-season. Everything was working. The man them were fit. A couple of weeks ago, Arsenal fans were sitting there and saying, boy, we got depth. Certain man don't even make the bench. Then things start raining. I told people, it's not that I know anything more or you lot know anything more. It's just you've been watching this movie, which is the Premier League and Arsenal. We've been seeing it. So there's a lot of positives, but if we capitulate this season like last year, like under Una Emery when we got top 5, where we were point off 5th, we've only got ourselves to blame. No matter how good other teams are, I always find myself looking at Arsenal internally, and there's variables that we need to control, man, and we're not doing that. I finished a couple meetings and back. You're still here. Come on. Exactly. You're playing right wing. To be fair, Marseille did go down to 10 men. Just watch the Spurs highlights. I just don't understand why Nuno doesn't like running back. Always seems to be jogging back. Surely a coach has told him to sprint. Like Trent, no urgency. Obviously, Trent's better than him, but no defensive urgency. Tavares is clearly someone that at 15, 16, when it's getting to the first inroads of professional football, Benfica, for whatever reason, or whoever said, you know what, I don't quite think you're going to make the grade. You're probably a better fullback. I don't know where Arteta wants to play Vieira in the future, man. But I'm keen to have the conversation. I would like him to be able to play as a left-sided 8 I don't really want to see him right wing and doing the inverted playmaker thing, but do your thing if you can. He said he prefers to play as a 10. Trent was literally ball watching for the third yesterday. Man's just standing there watching man run off him. Well, I take in what you said, but I have no faith in our manager and Eddie. Both were just standard players and are below standard at their roles. What's your thoughts on this? I mean, I've seen many average players. I do think Arteta is doing a lot good, but it's a mixed bag, really. You know, I'm more Arteta in there now, but at some point, it's not Arteta will die trying. I love my football club. I'll be here long after Arteta and Edu. If there's tangible reasons to sack him, yes. I still think the old problems and question marks remain over Arteta, and we're gonna have to see. I defo would like an experienced technical director, because while I like the hand Edu has played in some of the signings, I just feel when it comes to the January period, getting a midfielder, when it came to the latter stages of this summer, more experienced man, and they might have failed, but they would have made something happen. They would have got something. So. And I just feel it's a very unique position. You either have an experienced manager and a rookie technical director, or the complete opposite of that. And I personally feel way before they sack Arteta, obviously excluding results, I think Edu be the one to go. I think Mikel should consider turning him into a winger. I think he's going to do really well there. I mean, he could be a winger, but Tavares as a winger, what's he really going to offer us? Crosses the ball a lot, doesn't really pick out a man. Yeah, he scored some goals, but, you know, he doesn't really hit the target too often. Arteta plays football. And does Tavares have that? I don't know. You look at how the rest of them, they got that. So I don't know, man. You'd have to draw your own conclusions on that one, to be honest with you, if I'm completely honest. Sorry, folks, let's make another timestamp. Extended forward. Shout out to you lot tuned in, people. Do not forget to check your pinned message if you're on YouTube, and also set your reminders if you're on Twitch and YouTube. 4:45 this afternoon, watching Europa League. I don't think Tavares is great in tight spaces. Quite one-dimensional, if you're honest. Not even a criticism. I don't think Everton's going to be an easy one, but we need to get back to winning ways. Big up DG Criminal Blues. You said it there, man. What position do you play in football? I used to play strike. All right, man. Left back, right back, like me. That's me, man. Arsenal need them Alisson and Van Dijk signings, experience and proven quality required. I'd love that, but where are they and where's the bands? You got to put up the bands. Whenever we're linked with fairly household names in football, we don't put up the bread. So you're not going to get the guys. No one wants to sell, in theory, good players. So you have to give them more than they're worth. Potentially, pardon me, I wouldn't say Roma wanted to sell Alisson. Southampton wanted to sell Van Dijk. You know, and every other example, obviously, money makes you think, innit? You give people money, they can't refuse. It is what it is. Tavares will get sold. Bro, according to you, is Ronaldo the goal? I don't know who said that. That's a weird way to spell Lionel Messi. Edu himself said he doesn't enjoy the January window. That makes me believe we won't do anything this upcoming January window, even though we need to strengthen the midfield. Boy. Nuno as a winger, rather by a winger. Nuno, I don't think we'll make it at Arsenal. Hope to be proven wrong, but defending is not really his thing. I want Osimhen next season. I don't think we're going to do that. 140, lad, 140. I hope we go against Everton and smash them. Need that after the United defeat. Amen. Marcus Edwards doing his thing, man. Nice to see. He went to my secondary school. Would you take Fabinho? Yep. Is El Nene the best / worst backup centre defensive mid out of the top four? Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Spurs. I mean, could be. I don't think he's worse than Thingy. At this moment in time, he's not looking worse than Gallagher. No, I'm playing. He's better than McTominay. Even though McTominay was done a good job for United, even though I hate it, he's better than McTominay. But again, anytime you're classed with these, man, it's issues, really. Is Meady versus Meady, really. Spurs got Basuma, who isn't starting at this moment in time. So to humour your argument, you could class him as that. You guys came fifth. We also came fifth playing in Europa League. You guys came fifth with no European football, playing one game a week. Playing in Europe will be a downfall. I hope not, because whether we want to be challenging in Europa League this year or get to the Champions League, you have to deal with multiple games a week. Osimhen was cause of 2 goals. Danilo and Mudruk will go a long way to strengthen this team. I mean, in Arsenal logic, whoever takes Pickford's place, it wouldn't surprise me if they play out their skin still. Do you think we should have gotten Vlahovic? Maybe he could have been lit, but got Jesus now. Maybe would have loved to have had them both. S is not here for it. Big up all the Arsenal fans. To be fair, best case scenario for Tavares is good season with Marseille so we can sell him for a tidy fee. I mean, absolute dream world would be for me, he improves dramatically defensively, marries it with his attacking play, and then we've got a decent option that can be groomed and rolled. Worst case and groomed into that role. Worst case scenario, you turn that 8 million into 20 or something like that. Sell on clause, keep it moving, man. I don't think Tavares will ever be good enough, but I want to be proven wrong because it means we might have a decent player at Arsenal. 219 likes. First things first, people. Thank you very much for that. You lot are moving crazy. I appreciate it. Very appreciative to that. So, yeah, man. Folks, are we saying if the B team performs, all of a sudden we'll be less concerned about depth, but they don't. What B team? We ain't got a B team right now. We've got B team players, but we ain't got a B team. You haven't got 2 11s or anything close to it. Save Partey for after the international break because we've got big games coming up. I mean, if he's available against Brentford, we're going to need him. I'll get my lunch soon, man. Don't you worry, man. I think I have a chicken bagel still. Don't you worry about that one. Don't you worry. Me, go missing. To be fair, I've only had fruits and peanuts for breakfast still. What's is going on in the world of football? Edu, better get up, get stuff sorted. Otherwise, he should be called out. Bare minimum is really getting getting a 6 or a winger. There'll plenty of 1 year left to go and get them sorted. No excuses, Freddie. I mean, we're just gonna simply have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. I'm very pessimistic on Edu. I do like him. I'm very disappointed in Edu because I think he did the right thing in that the way he was talking early in the window, very transparent, was making signings. When you look at what the Feyenoord sporting director said, the Sao Paulo guy was trying to build relations. It seemed like not that you can say it's an assurance, but it seemed like we was gonna get a midfielder. And football's a results business, innit? Did you get a wing? Did you get everything we needed? Did you get close to everything? Are we more prepared for this season versus last? You lot would have to answer that. And it's another window I've been left disappointed, really. And I'm not a fan of. We can try as much as we want. Listen, I admire trying. I admire not just signing players for the sake of it. But you can play well in the game. Did you get 3 points or not? That's all that's going to matter on the board in May. Did you get a midfielder or not? Same. I don't know. Some Arsenal fans, when we were struggling to score goals after January, we're talking about save wages. I don't know how that is going to help us for top 4. We tried, ain't going to help us either. So we need to pattern up, and I hope we do pattern up. But whether we do is a completely different entity, man. And I guess that's the beautiful thing about football. We're just going to have to wait and see. Whether it's able to happen is another thing, man. Let's see, man. What else is going on in the world of football apart from this Graham Potter shenanigans, man? Slow day in world football, man. Come on, where's the news, man? Not really anything of any note. It's quite sad, isn't it? Quite sad. Pardon me. My manager, what's your prediction for tonight's game? Big up Omar. 3-1 Arsenal. Oh, she got Osimhen's influence on them goals was just hounding man down. He seems sloppy in his play to me. Yeah, I'll be with Ranson. I'll be there at 140, as discussed in our group chat. Big potential. I can't say his name, but K looks like a savage. Signed him for 10 million. You know they're going to sell it for a decent one. Thank God Everton don't have their first choice goalkeeper in goal. That man can be Superman. Shout out T-Rex Pickford. To get all your DG merch, hit that up. See, already got that. 3-0 Arsenal, I hope so. I mean, best case scenario is 4-5-0. Couple young dons off the bench. You know, I assume Xhaka and people that play every week are going to play, or a couple of them are. They can be wheeled off. Hopefully, the Tomiyasus, Tini's, they can get significant minutes under their belts. And obviously, fundamentally, start the Europa League group off to a great campaign. We've got to take it really seriously. We need to be in a position to have the best of both worlds, where we can, best case scenario would be, we're in the Champions League via the domestic campaign and we've got a Europa League final. But according to context, At some point this season, according to what you lot feel and believe, we might sit there and go, nah, you know what? Europa League is more achievable. Premier League's more achievable. As you've seen, we can be our best friends in this Premier League thing and also our worst enemies. So I'm not 100% I want to more do it in the Premier League away from winning a trophy. But you've got 38 tries of that. I don't know if we're sensible enough, and we've shown it against historically, and there's different players, but we've seen it against Olympiacos, Chelsea in the final, Villarreal when we're doing false nines, Atletico Madrid. When it gets to that post group stage of Europa League, do you have the bottle? Can you get the job done? Can you show game management over both legs of games? You know, while there's been some good results in the knockout stages, you know, I swear we did well against Napoli when Ramsey was here. Ultimately, we're a bit short. Trying to be positive regarding party remaining. I'm not positive or negative. I deal with what's in front of me. You know, I hope so, but I'm not just gonna bury my head in la la land and hope you stay fit. I have to deal with what's in front of me. You can barely stay fit. It's an issue, bro. And then when these guys get injured, you know, Arteta's got a double whammy because people are not fit. You have to put people in. You have to change the way we're playing. And obviously, we're not going to be as fluid. A big reason as to why we have 5 wins out of these last 6 is because players have been fit. We've been doing obviously, you need to chop and change where you can, but we've been having momentum and stability and things. And I think the United game is a bit different because the catch-22 of that is sometimes, even when you got a winning run, we still could have changed things and lost. You need to be able to tweak things. It's not always when you get battered that you change shit. But yeah, man, top 4 with Europa League and FA Cup would be a very good season for me. True, we're having our cake and eat it. As an Arsenal fan, a proud one at that. You always want to do the thing in the FA Cup. And as much as I like Arteta, I'll be absolutely honest. You know, I think I don't want to say disrespecting the FA Cup, but I haven't really liked the way he's been moving with the FA Cup really since he won it. You know, I think we've been messing about in it. And the quicker we can, obviously, some of these players were there when Arteta won the Community Shield and FA Cup. But the quicker we can start winning trophies, achieving our goals, top 4 and that, you start creating a certain mentality, really. You know, again, I want to be able to look at Arsenal. And as much as I like Jesus and all of these guys, I can't tell who the leader is, really. Everyone needs to be on that. The mentality is changing and shifting and getting better. But if I'm real, it's not that of a Premier League team. The man need to be doing, because again, as much as I feel there's more improvements with game and man management and all of that, I can't sit here and lie to you lot. You know, when it matters, obviously when it matters, we've done the thing, but there was warning signs in all the games before United. We started the United game poorly. We conceded 10 minutes before halftime. We got ourselves back in the game, and then we threw it away in the last 15 minutes. The Gaffers made a change in the 73rd. We've conceded in the 75th. I think we scored in the 60th. We've conceded in the 66th. Game management. It's a 90-minute game. Yes, against Villa, against Fulham, even Palace to a degree. You can afford to have good or bad passages. But when you're playing United, when you're going to Spurs, when you're going to half of these teams in the Premier League, you need to thingy. You know, you need to get it spot on. And especially last year, last year at Old Trafford, this year, we got ourselves back in a position to take something, whether it be in a point. You didn't get that. If you can't win, don't lose. And I just think there's no in between. We're either very good or very bad. Sometimes it's about how you perform at your worst. There's going to be very few Premier League games where everything goes right, everything is wavy and things like that. I don't know where, I'm being honest. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know where they're going, bro. Like, I don't know where they're going. I don't know where Arsenal Football Club are going. I can't tell you anything you want to hear or don't hear. I don't know where Arsenal Football Club are going. I hope we're going in the right direction. It does seem like 5 good steps, 10 bad steps, 20 good steps. It does feel like a bit sideways. You know, we're still, if you keep doing the same things and you're expecting different results, what do you think is going to happen? They only have themselves to blame, man, for anything that happens, though, man. We seem to change how we play depending on who's available. Tierney/Zinni, Partey/Sambi. You want to see the same style with different players, which requires better quality players, ultimately. Really. I mean, we could sell Partey, but reality is, I don't think there's a point. And until you address what's here, and until you bring players in that can do what he does to a similar or better standard, there's no point. You're not going to get, well, you'd be lucky to get 20 million for Partey. Why would you give him over 100 buff a week at 29 where he's going to want a decent deal if the man can't stay fit? You're not getting anywhere near the 45 million. You know, the most he's played is 8 games. So you're going to make a loss, nothing significantly that could be reinvested. Then you're going to have to buy even more midfielders. And I've personally said, if everybody's fit, I still think in an ideal world, if it was up to me, which is not, 2 8s and a 6. You know, I like El Nene. I don't think El Nene should still be at this club. I think he could stay around, hang around like a spare part and that. If there's mad injuries, you know, you'd be lucky to get 5-10 games. But if he was honest, shouldn't have really got a new contract. Should have just brought in a new Don. You know, I think Xhaka can be part of the squad. And I think he has done well. But anytime your system or your success is on that pitch up for all of good or bad as Xhaka, if it's contingent on Xhaka, you're in problems because he's not a player to build your team around. Lokonga is still learning and things like that. Partey, you can't stay fit. I don't think there's a midfield or specific pivot man that I'm 100% convinced on at this football club. You know, if anything, it'd probably be Xhaka more than anything. But Xhaka, it's more, you're good. You're not the guy that we need. I like watching Thomas Partey on the pitch. Obviously, he's got off-field things that we don't condone if true and need to be addressed and them things there. Big fan of what El Nene brings. But again, squad player at best. And 2 of them names are injured now. And the other one's learning the tricks and trades of the game. The other one, you know, Xhaka's going to have good or bad moments. I don't think he's as good as his fanboys make out. I definitely don't think he's as terrible as some of his haters make out. But this is what we're doing. And once again, Edu and Arteta were midfielders. So there's, if anything, for me, it's the bigger question marks. Look at Liverpool. Their midfielders are shambles. They're struggling. Chelsea's midfield has not been addressed beyond everything. They're shambles. United have had somewhat improvement because they brought... Casemiro hasn't even been playing, but like that. But there's more... Ten Hag has found a little trick around that. Defense wins you titles, strikers win you games. It's the midfield battle week in, week out. And boy, it's Arteta. You can't buy anyone now, so you're going to have to fix it in-house with Fabio Vieira being fit, maybe Zinchenko, maybe Partey being back fit for Everton and beyond. I don't know. I'm quite happy that it's not me who has to find that solution, if I'm completely honest with you, folks. You think Gabriel could lose his spot to White? I don't think so. I think Gabriel's been good apart from the United game, and even that, he's exposed and left because of the system. But why not? I like Lokonga. He's still very raw. There is a case if everything was addressed in midfield to let my man go on loan. I can't see Partey having a significant role at this club in 2 years' time. He'll be 31. He shouldn't. It would be naive to think Arteta didn't want a 6. So it seems Edu and the others in the board could hold Mikel and the club back. It's a worry. Everyone has to, bro. I hear that. But you can't have your cake and eat it, you know. I can't, anything that's a criticism of this club, when we lose, it can't just be the players. When we don't sign people in the transfer market, it can't just be Edu and that. Arteta is a manager. He has more of a say than Edu ever had, than Emre ever had. We've been told on Arsenal.com, in all or nothing, how it's a collaborative effort when we're talking about targets. I do think he wanted one, but fundamentally, Edu, Arteta, whoever, nothing happened. We win and lose together. When there's things to praise, I praise all you lot. When there's criticisms, I'm not working at Arsenal. I'm not here to point fingers, you know. I'm not here to point fingers. I don't know if it's Edu, if it's Arteta or the Kroenkes, you're all in it. Someone needs to do this thing. So, we'll have to see, innit? Like, you lot made your bed. No one put a gun to your head to you're not being held hostage to be at Arsenal Football Club. Whether Kroenke weren't giving you the money, whether you didn't manage the money right, whether signings didn't come, to be honest with you, I don't really care. It's just, is there one here or not? And that is what I said at the start of the window. That is what I said in January. I can only assess what's in front of me. I'm just a humble football fan. Our jobs are just to be decent humans of society and then watch our teams on the weekend. One thing I have to say, I admire you for your honesty and opinion on this footballing matters. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. Me personally, I'm not a fan of this manager and Edu, but he'd shed some light on this, please. Don't know what he said. There was for lunch, chicken bagel still. Chicken bagel still. What have you said? The disrespect for the FA Cup is crazy these days. Crazy, man. Got to stay humble in this life, man. You got to stay humble in this life, man, you know. If you don't stay humble, bubbles can pop, man. It's crazy. Very crazy. Don't forget as well, people, I have to be shameless. Have to sound like a broken record. But again, FC Zurich against Arsenal at 4:45. What's the time now? Oh, it's almost 1:40. So yeah, let me go eat that bagel then, really and truly. Let me go eat that bagel, go and rant some Matisse stream, and then book for an hour or so, have a little break, and then we'll be here, people. As usual, first things first, thank you very much for giving up your time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for supporting my content, for your talking points, You lot are ridiculous, man. You lot are in a nice way. You lot are ridiculous. I appreciate all the support, man. Thank you very much for everything you lot do. We're still pushing towards 50k subs. We're at 49 and some change. We're gonna get there. So yeah, I'll see you lot, man. As I said, thank you for everything. While I like talking about football and the popular talking points and all of that jazz, it's you lot who make the platform. You know, the biggest joy I get is that we're just talking about football, regardless of the opinions, Arsenal fan or not. So yeah, man, it's always difficult to say goodbye to you lot, but it's just goodbye for now, innit? So yeah, like I said, this will be on Twitch as well, 4:45. Make sure you're all there. Again, you know, don't leave me hanging. Big up to you lot that are here. We're here yesterday and our watch-alongs and that. So yeah, I'm gonna love and leave you lot, man. You lot stay blessed, stay safe, stay in good spirits. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. I hope you're having a progressive week in your professional and private lives. We've been here for 2 hours, well, literally 30 seconds shy of 2 hours, so safe.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like.